You saw the pig intro after you saw me just click onto myself and sit there looking like a dumbass for a second without realising. But you didn't see that. What you saw was a professional at the peak of their game. Yeah? Anyway, I'm Kevin Logan, and this is Dr. Christy Winters.
Oi, oi. How you doing, Kevin? I know that you've had a day, haven't you?
I have had a stressful day. Christy, I'll be honest with you, I'm defeated before we got going.
Oh
That's
no.
how bad
What?
it is. No, I'm only joking, I'm fine. How are
I
you?
have to get you some new feet
New feet?
because you're defeated.
I see what you've done there. That's like when someone, when you say, "Oh, well, have this person been briefed?" No, I haven't thrown my underwear at them. It's very funny, and people should be very grateful for that.
That's the kind of humor they show up for.
Basically, yes, yeah. How have you been? You've been travelling.
I have. I traveled, well, actually not a lot, but kind of a lot for me, I guess. You
Mm.
know what? If I had more disposable income, if I was more reckless with my money, I would just fly over to London for the weekend more often. It was really nice. Um, so it went from Cologne Airport to Heathrow. So I was already in London. Normally, I've been going to Colchester to do like focus group stuff. And if I want to get to London from there, I have to take the Stansted Express. So even from Stansted, you have to take, a train to various cities around Essex. But this was basically, yeah, get over, get to Paddington, get on the Northern Line, get to Hackney. It was a very nice apartment that we rented, kind of Airbnb thing. And it was London. So it was
Oh,
great.
so you're a gentrifier? Okay, I see. I see.
Yep, yep, that's me. I'm part of the problem. Then no, the it was Hackney, and it was a nice part, like just a lot of
There isn't a
transportation.
nice part of Hackney.
No,
Shut
it was
up.
a very cozy neighborhood. I don't know if it was nice, but it was cozy. Went like to a little restaurant around the corner. We had they served typical fry up breakfasts as well as avocado on toast with poached eggs. Ooh. And
That is literally the joke from, well, not the joke, but the setup for it from Joe Lycett's bit about avocado smash with a boiled egg.
yeah.
You're literally the epitome of middle class pretentiousness.
Well, I was gonna say if they also had like sausage, hash browns, fried toast, and
Yeah, but
eggs,
that's
but
the
I couldn't
law. You
eat
have
that.
to. You have to.
Yeah, I couldn't eat that because I am trying to reduce my caloric intake. There was also like a little bar pub we went to, and around the corner, and a Nando's. So
Obviously, it's Britain. Nando's
yes.
and Greggs are the only industries
Uh,
booming
yeah.
here.
I didn't go into a Greg's, although my friend did get a sausage roll. But she said it was not, well, she ate it mid temperature, sort of like tepid. She said, meh, it's probably better when it's hot. I'm like, yeah, you definitely need
Yeah,
to eat those
but
hot.
not straight out. Like, it's people say like, oh, you want to get it straight out of the oven. No, if you get it straight out of the oven, it burns your fucking mouth
Yeah,
off.
you need it under the heat lamps for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, you need it to just take the edge off. I don't need it at like lava level. I don't
Yeah, you
need
need
that.
to let
Thank
the
you.
grease kind of congeal a little bit before you put it in your mouth.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so saw Cabaret live. Saw Much
oh,
Ado
the
About
actual
Nothing.
thing, not just a
No,
cabaret. You went to
no, no,
see
went to the
cabaret.
musical.
Yeah.
Yeah, went to see the musical. That was really good. I
Was
won't
that
go
in the
into
proper
detail.
West End or was it off West End?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We were down by I want to say not by Monument. We were down by the Thames. Yeah, we were on the river where the theater was very
Embankment.
close. Probably yes. Yes,
Okay.
that sounds right. We were down in that area. And it
By
was
the
phenomenal.
Cleopatra's Needle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
embankment. Yeah.
When you come out, it used to be an all bar one when you come out of a bank, that's tube station, and then
Mm.
you're like you see the Thames right away in the eye. And then I think it used to be an all bar one, but I don't think it's an all bar one anymore. Anyway,
The
yeah,
reason
that.
I know the eye, this is how much of a pathetic leftoid I am.
Yeah.
The reason I go to the eye, I've never been on the eye. I've never been. I go to the back of the eye because behind the little line of trees behind the eye is the Spanish Civil War monument.
Oh, cool.
So when I'm in London, I pop along and pay my
Mm,
respects.
yep.
Which is like, I don't think that's the usual tourist trap, really. But it's right
What
next to a very big tourist trap.
what was I don't want to say remarkable or notable, but a thing about Cabaret, this particular version adaptation of it, or the current cast.
Mm.
And I didn't really kind of put two and two together until the very end, but the top three billed actors are all of African descent.
Okay, who do we know them? Are they famous enough to know?
One is, oh, I can't see, now you asked me in the name immediately. Billy Porter.
I don't
No,
know. Do I
okay.
know that one?
And
No.
then the actress and the actor I didn't recognize. I thought the actress was a little more solid than the actor, but generally it was a very, I would, if anyone's in London and you're looking for a show, what's really great about Cabaret is that you start the theater experience from the moment you walk in. Have you been to many like theater shows?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
What?
So, you know how when you get there, you kind of have that, like, I don't know, half hour to 45 minutes, and you're just sort of stood in the lobby or the foyer or crowded around some kind of bar.
Yeah, the posh
And
drinking bit before you go
yeah,
in to see the show.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, at Cabaret, they don't do that. They've kind of dressed the outside area as part of the bar, and they had five musicians, someone with a concertina, a violin, a clarinet, uh, a saxophone, and maybe it was four, and then some dancers like milling about with the audience, getting you to participate, stomp your feet, clap your hands, make space for them. They'll dance for you, whatever else. So the show kind of starts before the show starts.
See, I like that kind of immersive thing, but
Yes.
also don't make me dance.
Well, okay, yeah, I know there's
No
that
one needs
aversion.
this. Yeah.
And so yeah, it is. You walk in, and basically the cabaret kind of starts from the moment you walk in, and they reconstructed the theater so that it's, instead of being the audience sat and looking at the stage, it's theater in the round. So it's much more like immersive, like more engaged. It's more like a show in that way because they
Hmm.
can see all of the audience. And you could use a QR code to scan, and they would bring you like food and drink to your seat, which was amazing
Oh, that's
during the
fucking
intermission.
dope. Yeah.
During the intermission, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, presumably they're not clinking
Yeah.
through lines of people. Yeah.
It's like someone's belting out their aria and they're like, excuse me, did you have the Prosecco or whatever
Yeah.
it is? Yeah, and that was good. And then the last night, Monday, I guess it was, we went to see Much Ado About Nothing, which is the newest version of Shakespeare with Tom Hiddleston.
Oh
And
wow.
he,
Okay.
yeah, he was like very close to me, and he opened up his shirt and flashed us at one point, which was very fun. And Haley, I can't remember her last name, Captain Carter from the Marvel series. She's from
Don't
Captain
know.
America and stuff, so
Okay.
it.
Fair enough.
And so another Marvel star. And it's kind of funny because they poked fun at that a little bit during the show by having a cutout of Loki and a cutout of Captain Carter, like brought on stage when they were referring to pictures of the characters, which was kind of fun. That was I read the reviews
I
and
mean, you
all
say
the
that, Christy, but that was in the original. That was in the book.
yes,
Yeah.
Loki, yes, a Loki picture brought out. I think I read the reviews.
To
All
be
the
fair,
theater kids.
Loki is more of a normal name than he would give to his characters anyway. He'd
I
call
think there
it
might be.
Fizzly McWizzlepip.
Well, I think isn't there a Loki probably in Midsummer Night's Dream, or there could have been, presumably a Loki in Midsummer's. I don't know. I haven't read that or watched it for ages.
I don't know. It's all bollocks anyway. Shakespeare can fuck off and die. Oh yeah,
He
he
did
already
already.
did.
Yeah.
Lol. Can we get some lols in chat for Shakespeare being dead?
So they did that by making it kind of a mix of modern and old, in that they didn't dress up in old costumes. Obviously, they're using the Shakespearean dialogue. They really stripped down the set to basically just chairs, and every single member of the cast was on the stage the entire time. So there's one guy, this poor actor, who is the friar in the second act, and he's just sat there for the entire first act. And I'm like, who is that? Who is that guy? Why does he have no lines yet? And he finally speaks in the second act. But what a pain in the ass as an actor to sit through an entire act without a single fucking line. It's on an uncomfortable
Still
chair
getting
watching the
paid.
same. Yeah, but he's got to watch this, same fucking dialogue night after. Well, yeah, I suppose it's a good gig.
Yeah, well,
I guess.
yeah. Don't worry about that. That's fine. He's still getting
Yeah.
fucking paid. He don't care.
So they had one of the main characters was non-binary, and they did a
Oh
lot of
my God,
singing.
Shakespeare's gone woke.
Yeah, and they did a lot of singing of like 80s and 90s love songs as part of it was very, and the entire
That's
stage
a
was,
very it's a very
yeah.
modern, zhuzhed up version. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and the stage was entirely covered in this sort of pink confetti, and they kept like throwing it like around and dropping it, and at the end of the show the confetti drops over the audience, and they get you to stand up as part of the dance, and then they segue into the acknowledging all of the actors, which is a great way to guarantee a standing ovation every single show.
Nice. Okay.
So anyway, It was a wonderful escape. Oh, and I went to a spa on my birthday because it was my birthday on Monday, and that was
Well, you
very nice
already,
and
in order to
relaxing.
travel from Cologne to London, you already passed Spa, the town in Belgium.
Yeah, so for 5 days, I felt like we did a lot, but I also felt
Yeah.
very relaxed, and it was really nice. It was
Oh,
nice to get
nice,
back
good.
to Old Blighty. I honestly, it recharged my batteries. There's something about landing in England, especially Scotland, its own kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh look, it's the doors that they put like 8 layers of paint on, and the dingy tube stations, and
Yeah, you honestly, you are fucking mental, and I love you
I
for
do.
it. But
It
like,
just
only
makes
you
me
are vitalized by this experience.
yeah, I just like to soak it up in the gray skies and the slight damp all
Like,
the time that makes you feel like you want a hot cup of tea or a
it
hot
is,
shower.
it's revitalizing for you. I feel like I'm drowning.
Yeah, I
Do you
guess
know what I mean? That's
I have it's a bit
cup,
romanticized. It was
cup
a
half
great time
full,
of
I
my
guess.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was great. I did my master's and PhD there, so it's when you're at school, it's kind of a bubble of reality anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. By the way, we have a reversal of annoyances tonight.
Oh, what's that?
Well, I did literally tell you, but thank you for playing along.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, usually it's Christy
Ring
waiting for
ring
some sort of
ring.
delivery at the
Yep.
door, whereas today it is I.
Mm-hmm.
And now usually I wouldn't care that much, but it's an Amazon delivery of something that's a little bit too expensive to leave outside just in case.
Yeah. So, you gonna tell us what it is?
No, it's tech related, but it's like I say, it's not massively expensive, but it's expensive enough where like
What
I
kind of
can't
sex
afford for it to
toy
get
that you
nicked.
can't? Yeah. What kind of sex toy are you ordering on from
Oh, it's not
Amazon?
fucking
That's
sexed. Jesus Christ, woman, no. Oh, it's a. I'm trying to
you said it
keep it a
was sex.
surprise.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll just wait then.
Yeah, you fucking wait then. Anyway, 200 days of rain on average in Birmingham. That's true. Well, to be fair, I do have like a sheltery bit, so it probably wouldn't get wet, but it might very possibly get stolen. So, like, again, I can't. I can't.
So
I
ring
can't
ring
live
mid
in that.
show.
So, well, not ring ring because I don't have a bell. I
What?
do. I have like just a letterbox, and you rattle the letterbox, which is the usual way it's done in Britain. By the way, I don't know. I don't know how you're surprised by that. Is that a
Like, don't all houses after the 1960s just sort of come with doorbells, or at least a door
no?
knocker?
Well, some have a door knocker, but like most of the time, it's a letterbox, and you just flap the letterbox, and it smacks against the metal bit, and makes a noise that alerts the inhabitants that somebody wishes to talk to them at the door.
I've literally never approached a door and had to rattle the letterbox in my life in order to
Really, even in
never.
even in
Even in yeah,
Essex,
even in Essex.
another reason to bomb Essex.
I guess I'd probably knock before I'd ring the because we don't have letterboxes in the States, so it's not a thing I would think
What
to
do you mean you
do.
don't have letterboxes?
No, we have mailboxes
Everywhere,
at the
everywhere
end of
has
the driveway.
mailboxes. Literally everywhere. Not a single door in the entirety of the United States has a letterbox.
I'm trying to think. I mean, generally, maybe in some like East Coast cities, but most people have because postal delivery. They don't come to your door and put a letter through your door. They drive to the end of your driveway or your road. Sometimes they have them clustered at the end of the roads in rural areas, and they just have like 7 of them in a row. You just get all of them at once.
You're fucking animals. You people are absolute monsters. You make tea in the
But
microwave, which
oh,
again is a fucking war crime.
the entitlement, the expectation that someone's going to come and actually give you your mail on your
They're
doorstep,
being
inside your
fucking
doorstep.
paid. What? They're being fucking paid. Dickheads. Also,
So,
bears. What stops the bears from eating the mail?
they don't smell like it unless you have cookies or something delicious in
Exactly.
there.
Well, I always do.
But would that fit in a mailbox?
Cookie. I don't know. Actually, that's a point. Our mailbox is going to get bigger because of Amazon delivery. Presumably, right?
Well, I think when it comes to packages, they'll put those like on your porch.
They very much deliver their package.
Yeah, they drop the package off right at your door.
Nice. Thank you, Phil, with 100 bits, who says, the sex toy I sent is going to your P.O. box. It's a big one. Well, thank you. I mean, that's slightly belied by the fact that, A, I have all the sex toys I need, and B, I don't have a P.O. box.
But still, nice effort.
But thank you, yes. Oh, yeah. So, we're not just doing small talk because I'm waiting for a post postal delivery though, because there is something I genuinely did want to talk to you about before we get into the actual sort of contenty content, and I do have contenty content. Don't worry.
Hmm.
You mentioned something just in passing in the Discord DMs that rather shocked me. Oh, not shocked me at all, but like I don't know. It was just sort of interesting. Um, you said what was the exact phrasing you used? Hang on, I'll go to it. Apropos of seemingly nothing, right? You didn't. There wasn't like a. We weren't responding to me because I had all I said was happy birthday. Then you left a voice thing, and then a day later you popped up with. Also, I'm definitely becoming more radical in my politics.
Well, I mean, for me, yes, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So, pray tell, what are you talking about?
Well, I guess I think it has to. It's a reaction
Hmm.
to
But you are a reactionary, yes.
no, those are the really conservative ones. The
No, no,
radicals are the
I'm
ones that wouldn't
joking.
be
I'm
taken.
joking. I'm
Okay.
joking.
So, yeah, how do I put this? Um, I think growing up in the States, I was kind of a realist.
Stop
Let's
it.
say pre-Trump.
Get some help.
I was rather a realist when it came to American politics. I knew that the Democrats, in order to get elected, they couldn't just be East Coast party. They can't just be Bernie Sanders because there's a lot of purple places or
Can I just?
independents.
I know you're doing a bit, but I do need to interrupt and just say we're on a hype train. Thank you, main captain. We're on a hype train.
Achoo!
So give me money, and we get onto the second level of the hype train. And because Christie's now a communist, I'll let her choose the fascist I finger.
I don't. We don't do that around me anymore. Remember?
Well, I won't do it when you're here.
So, because I saw growing up under Reagan and Bush, particularly, Carter was a one-term president. Nixon was before that. He was shit. And then I just grew up in the 80s where the Democrats
Are we just
were,
ignoring Ford? Ford didn't exist.
no, we're just going to ignore him. Because,
The
yeah, he
only
was basically a placeholder. He
the only
wasn't
man in
elected.
American history to achieve that position without ever being elected to president or vice president. Little fact.
Hmm. Hmm.
That is a stiff
And
lick of poop.
so um, getting power to stop Republicans was the point in the
Mm,
1980s and the 1990s.
yeah.
And that's when I think you saw the recalibration, kind of like with New Labour happened in the UK too, where
Yes.
the
Yeah.
traditional left parties realized that they weren't mainstream parties and they had to be mainstream if they wanted to compete.
Yeah. So things had moved beyond that old paradigm, and they had to either
Yes.
die or move along with it.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was the death of class consciousness.
Yeah.
Um,
Sort of. Yeah.
and especially I think in the 1980s in Britain too, you can also, I'm sure, back this up. The worship of wealth became acceptable.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas before in the 70s, workers their own
Like
dignity and
it's so annoying, but the Oliver Stone movie Wall Street, where the Gordon Gekko says greed is good,
yeah,
was meant to be a like you're meant to think that
hate
that's a
him.
bad thing.
Yeah,
He's a baddie. He's a bad guy in that movie. But the rest of the society just went, oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, let's do that.
basically, yeah. I mean, think about loads of money, right?
Yeah, the Harry Enfield character again, a critique, a comedic satirical critique of a real person who became the only person to which politicians pander anymore. Just this greedy, self-entitled former working class cunt.
Yes. And because of that, I mean, less so in the States, because I think the attack on the unions happened, from the 1960s forward and the demonization of federal workers, which we still see today. Anyway,
By the
getting
way,
any kind of,
watch that space.
yeah. So can I finish a sentence
Perhaps,
without getting interrupted?
perhaps.
That was very much my perspective. Basically, any Democrat is better than a Republican because Republicans will do what they just did yesterday, which is vote for tax breaks for rich people to the point where they defund all public programs. And so I had a rather broad church view of the Democratic Party. I was willing to, ally. I realized that people like Joe Manchin were a necessary evil,
Mm,
in order to stop a greater evil.
right.
And there are good Democrats out there. And this is why I kind of want to go, oh, Democrats are terrible. Like, so AOC is terrible. like, you know, like there are like Jasmine. What's her? I can't remember her last name at the top of my head. I just followed her on Blue Sky. She's terrible. Like there are good people in the party and there are bad people in the party. I think you should name names rather than just malign the whole party, because I think that there's a if you just
True.
say all politics is bullshit, then people tune out and then you don't
Yeah.
get them to vote, and then you get Republicans because their voters will vote.
True. But I think one of the frustrations you find, and I think this is a worthwhile critique into itself, is that the AOC type people within that party very rarely hold any institutional power within it. Most of the leadership are from the slightly ossified corporate
I'm trying
strata.
to remember who was the speaker before Nancy Pelosi. She was speaker so long. I can't even remember who the Dem speaker was before her.
I
Wow.
I don't know.
I
I
just
can't
remember all the
remember.
Republicans who were the majority leaders. I literally can't remember a House speaker before Nancy Pelosi. And who was it before Chuck Schumer?
Oh,
Oh God, he's been in there
um,
for ages too. It was another old white guy.
Da-
Oh,
Dave,
Tom,
Dave,
Tom,
Tom DeLay.
Tom. Yes,
There
yes.
we go, Tom DeLay. Which is annoying because it's D capital D small e capital L. Just be Tom DeLay. One word. Normal. Weird.
Yes, it had to make themselves feel good.
Hmm.
See, no, not Tom DeLay. He's a member, but Tom someone or other. He's a Republican. DeLay.
Is it? I don't fucking
So
know.
it's a bird. I can't. It doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, so um, and when America was ostensibly well, at least when we would have elections that you could do peaceful transfers of power,
Harry
right?
Reid.
Oh my God, yes, that was it. Thank you, chat.
That
Harry
Marcus
Reid,
Drake. As always coming
Nevada.
through. Yeah.
Nevada. Marcus, I was thinking about you today, Marcus. I was thinking we should have you on again with all this legal stuff. And I was thinking, oh yeah, I'll just say it now. Kevin, we should invite Marcus back on because
Yeah, we
I think
should.
we're due a Marcus visit. It's been a while.
It's been a
And
while. There's been a
yeah,
lot of attacks on the legal system, and what the fuck is Doge legally?
that is exactly what I wanted to Marcus to talk about. Get out of
Yeah.
my head. No, seriously, Marcus, I was exactly thinking about you today for that reason because they were talking about the Lawfare podcast. I was like, we should get Marcus back on. I think it's time for a Marcus visit.
Definitely. Hundo percent.
Yes.
Anyway, so you've become far more racist or something?
So I mean, basically now I don't think, I mean, America, I know has been barely a democracy for a long time, and it's been degraded a lot by voter suppression efforts. I mean, honestly, it got slightly better after Jim Crow, right? And then there
Yeah.
was a sort of lie that we told us that we had fair elections, but they were always shit. And then they were just overtly
Give
trying to
Kevin money.
get us right
Hello,
back to Jim Crow.
Christy. Kitty Bonk.
And at this point, you know, we're a country drifting into authoritarianism or fascism. However, I don't know what the big bright line between those two is. I'm not, you know, I'm only a political scientist. But I look at voter behavior, not at forms of government. So I'm not an expert on like the intricacies between fascism and authoritarianism. But it seems to me to be an oligarchic fascist regime that is currently in power. And what we need now is an anti-fascist party. We need a
Yes.
pro-democracy, anti-fascist political opposition party. As I put on Blue Sky, a loyal opposition in a sense that they are loyal to the Constitution,
Yeah.
as opposed to the Queen or the King in the UK. And I think that any accommodationist Democrats need to be primaried. I think anyone who voted for any cabinet member, including Elizabeth fucking Warren and Bernie Sanders, I mean, Marco Rubio got 100%, like all the votes. They just sailed that motherfucker through.
Mm.
No, that is not the time we are in anymore. There's none of this like, oh, we're going to write a bill to do. No, that is, if you're not walking out of every vote, if you're not doing direct action, if you're not interrupting committees, then you're not protecting democracy. And I think we need people with balls, metaphorically. I don't care what your gender is. I mean, you need people who are going to be openly anti fascist and constantly anti fascist and calling this stuff fascist. Not saying, oh, well, you know, we'll get a bill going in committee. No, like that's not your role anymore. That's not the government we have anymore. The rule of law is failing us. And so I want to see any Democrats who say we need to like, oh, you know, Elon Musk has a point. You're out. You're
Yeah.
fucking out. You're just out. If you're not opposing them, you're helping them. And
Yeah.
that's kind of where I am right now.
That's, you know what, that's so awesome. I'm genuinely proud. That's you've reached the right point. I think that really is the thing. You you need far more staunch opposition. I don't think this bit piece like trying to pretend, well, maybe there's something, maybe Elon Musk has a point. No,
Yeah,
no, he doesn't.
exactly.
Did you? Oh, I don't know if you saw the press conference slash cabinet meeting thing they had today, where
What, you
Elon
mean
Musk
where
just
President Musk held court?
he did, yeah. President Musk held court whilst his little cuck boy sat in his chair, and he just casually, as if he was going to get a laugh from it, just told everyone, "Oh yeah, we accidentally cancelled Ebola protection."
I imagine that you had an employee or someone who wanted to be a work for you,
Yeah,
and they showed up, and you're like, "Well, what's your approach to your job?" You're like, "Well, I might make mistakes, I might break things, and it'll be up to other people to fix it." I'm
yeah,
sorry, what? Who would hire anyone who would say, "Yeah, I'm going to get things wrong, and I'm going to, mess up, and that's just how I work." Who would
yeah.
pick that?
That's ultimately why I think Trump will eventually fire him, because he's gonna do some shit like cancelling Ebola protection, and then lots of people will die of Ebola, and Trump will look fucking awful.
Look. I mean, I think we need
And
to
he
think
always
about.
likes a scapegoat.
Well, this is it, and that is the major point. I mean, think about it. He had his Roy Cohn, Michael Cohen. He had Paul Manafort, Roger Stone, Rudy Giuliani. You just go down the list of all the people who have gone to prison or been sued into oblivion because they were running interference for this guy.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
and that's what
exactly.
he's
Yeah,
doing with. I know Musk doesn't realize this. He thinks he's got this amazing power and that he's basically the president. And what Trump is doing is let him take all of the shit and all of the negative press, and then he's basically using him as a human shield.
much like Elon Musk uses his child as a human shield.
Exactly. Yeah, and
Did you
it's
see
amazing to
the
me
bit
that he
of
can't figure that out.
yeah? Did you see the bit of footage where Elon Musk forgot his human shield when he walked off stage?
Did you just leave his kid on the floor in the Oval Office?
No, no, it was
No,
at some
okay.
outdoor event. If someone links it, I'll play it. It was an outdoor event, and it was like the backstage or the kind of walk to the backstage bit, which was sort of open, and there's like a downward bit of stairs, and he walks so far ahead of him, like he clearly has forgotten his child's there, and there isn't like another adult that's in control of the child or like protecting the child or anything. He just walks off and leaves his child desperately clambering down the stairs.
Yeah. I'm also incredibly disappointed with MSNBC firing all their commentators of
Stop it.
color, basically.
Get some
Yeah.
help.
Just turning that place into fucking white supremacist central.
But Joy Reid said that the Palestinians shouldn't be slaughtered. She obviously deserved
Yeah.
to get fired.
Yep. And, it's so I feel like I'm not being given an option to be a moderate
Hmm.
because what I'm reacting against is authoritarianism, not people who are willing to give up power in 2 years' time or 4 years' time.
Indeed. Yes. Okay. On that point, can you
Mm.
entertain people? Because I think I have a delivery.
I am slightly unprepared, but I guess we're gonna just have to roll with it. I
If you get
will.
the chat up, you can talk to
Oh,
chat.
no, I've got some stuff. I can share my screen, right? You've given me the ability to share my screen.
I think so, but I need to put you on screen. 1 second.
Okay, please do that. Also, I think the sound is coming out of the wrong place, so I'm gonna need to do that.
One
Well,
second.
hello, everyone. Okay.
Oh,
Oh yeah, here we go. I just had to press some buttons. Hello, class. How are we all doing? Did we have a good week? What day is it today? Today's Wednesday. So, yeah, I hope everyone in the chat is doing well. Let me feed this audio through my headphones, and then you should be able to hear it as well. So, yeah, while Kevin is away, I saw this little news clip. I shared it with him earlier today, and it has to do with Trump's attempt to house people at Guantanamo, because that's what democracies do: is they take people to prisoner of war camp holding sites, and they just leave them there and deny them any kind of due process. So let me just look at the chat, and yeah, you guys are seeing. Oh, I guess he's kind of got it on a weird angle. And there's also a big thing of Kevin. I can't move the screen at all. We're just going to have to deal. So yeah, let's have a little look at maybe can I no, I can't resize this at all. All right. Well, use it as an audio podcast.
Will visit the facilities housing.
Oops, sorry.
Right, today, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth travels to Guantanamo Bay, where he will visit the facilities housing migrants deported by the Trump administration. They halted efforts to build tents to house more at Guantanamo.
You know, this is boring AF, so I want to get to the next section, which was more interesting, where they're talking about this guy. This is the stuff that I'm talking about. Here we go. I think Kevin is almost back. All right, Kevin, are you back?
Reporting.
No, all right, he's just making noise in the background.
And with us now is John Sandweg, former acting director of ICE. Thanks so much for being with us. You know, Natasha's reporting there, not enough need to justify the expansion at Guantanamo. Guess to something bigger that's happening here, which is that right now we're hearing that Donald Trump, the president, is not satisfied with the number of migrants being deported. They can't do it fast enough or big enough for him.
I'm back.
How surprised are you that they're not able to?
Welcome back.
Hello, what are we watching?
We are watching a bit that is talking about the Trump administration and the deportation of people because
okay.
We can kind of basically I can give you catch you up. The question was Trump is not happy with the numbers or the size of the deportations yet. And are you surprised that they can't fulfill the grandiose numbers that he invented in his head for how many people would be deported out of the United States?
Yeah, I saw Nick Funes, our old friend, complaining about this because Trump and Elon were out there going, we're getting rid of 200,000 or whatever it was. And Funes pointed out, and this is what this doesn't speak well to anybody. He said at its peak, the Biden administration was removing more than twice that number.
Yep, so was Obama. You know, so that's going to kind of come up. So pin that.
Yeah.
To reach the numbers that in his head are acceptable.
Well, John, at this point, I'm not that surprised, right? This is what we've been talking about previously, which is that when you target a criminal population, that is tedious work. It is slow work, and you're not dealing with a large criminal alien population that's present inside the United States. So this idea that by just saying we're going to take the gloves off and then deploy ICE assets to go after, and they're going to encounter all these huge numbers of criminal migrants out there, really was never based in reality to begin with. During the Biden administration, ICE routinely focused and prioritized this population, so you didn't have that many targets to begin with. And then you have to deal with the resource challenges that you face at ICE, where you only have 7,000 officers, and the number of arrests they can make is really just driven by exactly that, how many officers you can deploy. Look, I expect that the administration is going to make a shift in tactics here. I think they're going to start pulling into all these state and local officers to deploy them to focus on the immigration problems. They're going to pull these other federal agencies in, but they're also going to have to reduce their targeting and expand it to where their primary target is not anyone who has some nexus to the criminal justice system, but probably just migrants who have been in this country seeking a better life, and probably have been here a long time.
So if they want to expand the numbers, they have to change the targets?
That's right. They're running. Part of the problem they're facing is they're running out of these criminal targets. What they've been doing, John, is pulling data from the criminal justice system, looking at probation.
Are they saying that not all of the migrants are criminals?
Well, I know that that's hard for white supremacists to believe, but yeah, there's actually a very small, very minute criminal migrant or undocumented population. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Not all migrants are undocumented. Yeah, imagine that. So as he goes on to say,
of parole records, looking at people who might have been charged with a crime, in court, but were never booked into custody. But this is a tactic that ICE has been doing for the last 20 years in a population they've been focusing on. So you're not finding that many targets out there who meet that criteria. The only way to solve this is really by two things. One is expand that target range. And I think we've already, we know that they're already grabbing collateral. So when they go out there in the streets and they target that criminal, anyone else they encounter who's undocumented, they're arresting. So a significant percentage of the arrests they've made this far are not actually criminals. But the second.
Did you catch that little line as it sped by?
Yeah, that is a bit. I mean, just drop that in there. Like that's not a crux of the issue at all.
Yep. Basically, if you're around someone, if you're undocumented around a criminal, you're getting swept up too.
Of course, yeah. As always, innocent people get caught up in this fucking disgusting, hysteria.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you play the Elon Musk clip, by the way?
No, I didn't. You weren't gone for that long, to be fair.
Yeah, no, that's
So,
true. True.
so that was really what I wanted to put out there, which is,
Okay.
that when they said mass deportations now, they were not talking about criminals. I know a lot of people heard criminals because that's kind of been the rhetoric. And even undocumented people whose kids are American citizens who are happy that their kids voted for Trump said it was only going to be the criminals. Not true.
Yeah.
Not true.
Oh, hang on. Where's the I fucking lost the will to live here. Hang on. Where's the clip? This is the video. Full video shows Elon Musk did not leave his child behind. Really?
Well, yeah, when someone reminded him his kid was in the room, he probably went back for him.
Hang on a minute. Well, I mean, if I've got that wrong, I'm more than happy to be corrected. Let's have a look. Ooh, hang on a second. Beep. All right. So that's him leaving the kid.
Hold on. Like, where that little person in red was his kid?
Yeah.
And he just like walked on, like not even paying attention to where he was or holding his hand. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
look.
Look, yeah. He's like, fuck off. Like, yeah, he's clearly not used to having a child around him.
Yeah, like he's not used to looking after that kid. Yes, because someone shouted out. Literally, if you can hear it. Look, hang on. Listen.
You're leaving your little boy.
So someone shouts out from the crowd, "You're leaving your little boy," and then he goes back and gets the kid.
Yeah. Well,
So he did leave him. He did absolutely fucking left him. Yeah.
Well, he certainly like walked. When a kid is going down the steps, especially.
Yeah, like
And those are dangerous steps. They're hollow. You know. Like he could have fallen down and fallen through them and fallen to the ground if he, he's not that good at steps. The steps are half as big as he is.
Yeah.
Well, we know he's a piece of shit, and he uses his kid as a human shield.
Of course he fucking
does.
does,
What do
yeah.
they call it? His emotional support human.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Thank you, says Thomas, for resubscribing. Thank you, everyone, for the hype train.
Choo choo.
This one will be a little bit interactive, okay?
Okay.
So, it is a Sam Cedar video, but there's a point to it, because there's a thing that you and I, Christy, can do that's creative and nice, and that the audience can also get in on.
Oh no, Sam Cedar.
What a fucking nightmare. Also, just I was thinking, as to your radicalization discussion thing that we had, like it sort of strikes me that if you aren't being radicalized a little bit,
Yeah.
you aren't really watching. Like it's like being in 1930s Europe. Like, who stays a basic bitch like fucking centrist at that point?
I don't know if people have seen Cabaret, but
Yeah.
one of
I know
the
someone
under-
who has.
Yeah. So it takes place in like 1930s Germany.
Yes.
And the Nazis are background
Yeah.
to the story, but they are in the back. They are a background to it. And one of the themes that they explore is, people who go along to get along. But
Yeah.
you know what? If the Nazis come to power, I'll survive. And or people who are like, oh, I don't get involved in politics. Your life will still be affected if you are resigned to accepting whatever power system is placed upon you. You will be affected by politics even if you don't pay attention.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
stuff is happening, and by
Yeah.
the time you realize that and you start complaining, I just the all of the former Harris voters who are looking around at people who are saying, I am so disgusted and angry at Elon Musk. It's this, I think he was a white guy, Army vet, who works for USAID. And he was completely disgusted by Elon Musk. I'm like, what did you would you think your middle class whiteness was going to protect you?
Yeah.
Like, they don't see people as human beings. They see us as sheep, right?
Yeah.
We are to be shorn for the profits we can provide them. And their optimal situation is that we get barely enough to scrape by, but enough to keep us satisfied so we don't have a revolution. So put us in debt with mortgages and credit cards and student loans, but give us toys and technology so that we're distracted. It's our modern bread and circus.
Yeah.
But if they can destroy it and whittle away and take away more of our benefits, like, reinstating elderly poverty, if we can push the poverty of our elderly parents and their health costs onto their kids, right? And as opposed to the state taking responsibility for, with a system where people are paid into it, the more that they can take for themselves, it's like the fucking aristocracy and the serfdom. They want to get back to a capitalist form of serfdom.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I've said capitalism unrestricted will ultimately always end in serfdom.
Yeah.
That is what. That's exactly that centralization of power and that stratification will always lead that place. That's why, like, whether they like it or not, libertarians, you want serfdom.
Yeah, but at least serfs had land to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas they don't even want to give us that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We're not even going to have the protection of being owned by a corporation that will work us to death. They're
Like,
happy to
you
throw
don't.
us to the wolves.
Yeah, even your medieval serf didn't have to piss into a bottle.
Yeah.
Mainly because bottles didn't really exist, but that's not the point. Anyway, just to hang on, I've forgotten who fucking said it. Jonathan in chat. We weren't literally saying, "Oh no, Sam Cedar, what a nightmare." It refers to a song. We quite like Sam Cedar.
Should we play it? Should we play it?
No, I'm not playing it. No, it
Sam
gets in your
Cedar,
fucking
what a
head.
fucking nightmare.
I played it about a
Yeah.
week ago or something, and it was in my head for like 2 days, so it's not happening. Secondly, Becca says they were in Cabaret and they played Fraulein Schneider.
Yes, that's who I'm thinking about.
She sang the Pineapple song.
Well, I'm thinking after the Pineapple song after the party, as it were, and her character arc.
Yeah,
but she was one of the.
But I'm always brought back to, and it's obviously quite a hackneyed reference point, but it's sort of a cliche for a reason. The Pastor Martin Niemöller poem. First they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist, etc., etc. Although interestingly, in the Niemöller statue in Philadelphia, they have it changed to first they came for the socialists, and I was not a socialist because they couldn't even put the word communist on it. America, land of the free, home of the twats.
Yeah, but of course in America, it's first they came for the trans kids, and
exactly.
Adults.
Exactly.
And
yeah,
I said nothing.
That's
I was a piece of shit.
That's the beautiful thing of the poem, right? Is that all of those groups are interchangeable. The point is, Niemöller was a well-known Protestant pastor in Germany who first welcomed the Nazis and thought they were probably a good thing and would save them from the anarchy of the Weimar years, which were turbulent. Certainly.
Yeah, hyperinflation, right?
Hyperinflation, revolutions. Yeah, it was bad times. Bad times. Anyway, the point being, this wasn't just like him describing the exact thing that happened under Nazism. It was the description of the development of that othering authoritarianism. Mm-hmm. That eventually it will come for you. You can't knuckle under. There isn't a safe path you can choose. Fucking with the Nazis, Ernst Röhm and the SA were literally the enforcers of the Nazis. They couldn't have been more loyal to Nazism, and they got murdered by it.
Yeah, because there's a purity spiral too that goes along with all of this. You need to keep moving to the right. I mean, people talk about the French Revolution and the guillotine and stuff, but that's exactly what happened with them. It was you had to keep moving to the more radical position, or you'd get left behind, and then suspicion would fall on you.
Indeed, yes, yeah. Oh yeah, Niemöller was an anti-Semite, 100%. Again, he welcomed the Nazis. A lot of people were in that way, and then you realise far too late, and that's sort of the point. You realise far too late that's not a good position to put yourself in. So there's all of that. Anyway.
Yeah, and I want to say too, when it comes to that, you had the difference between East and West Germany was pretty stark in the last election. In the West you had people marching "Never Again is Now," and in the East you had people voting AfD. So
we've already got the breakdown of the current the German election that just happened, and it's literally the border between East and West still exists.
Yeah, yes, very much politically. Also, I don't know if you saw the gender gap in voting.
Yeah, it was amazing. The left.
Yeah.
The
You're
left.
Seeing this.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah. You're seeing younger women in the States as well, and probably in the UK, I'd imagine, voting for the more left parties, and then younger men voting for the far right parties.
Yeah,
We've got a really
Linke hoovered up like fucking. Yeah, 60% of women between 18 and 34 or something. Like, what the fuck? That's pretty radical. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we really need to have when we talk about anti-fascism at its core, besides being anti-white supremacist, we need to talk about toxic masculine norms, and we need to talk about presenting younger men with alternative, valid forms of masculinity.
Well,
You go ahead.
no, go on. I don't want to interrupt. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, because, and I'm not original in making this point, but most toxic forms of masculinity define being a man as to not be feminine or not be like women.
Yeah.
Right. So don't cry, don't throw like a girl, don't be weak, don't show your emotions. And you can't have equality with people who have contempt for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. On that point, though, if we do get through this and the assigned homework afterwards, I've got a video from Adam Conover called Elon and Zuck Are Insecure Men. It's very good.
Yeah. That sounds good.
And that sort of talks about that, about the ridiculous version of manhood being pushed. Anyway.
So just to clarify, because we started a half hour late, we're not going an extra half hour longer, right? Because it is a school night.
No, that's
okay.
fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually I was hoping earlier today, if things hadn't gone a bit fuzzy for me, that I was going to start an hour earlier without you and do PMQs.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And get through that, and we ended up starting not an hour early, half an hour late. Yeah, my life is annoying.
So yeah, and also just like as a reminder, I've got Carnival in Cologne, so that starts on Thursday.
Carnival!
On Tuesday night, so it's going to be 2 Wednesdays, and then after next Wednesday, we'll be back on our more regular schedule, whatever that's going to be. So.
Okay. Yes. So this is to do with Elon Musk and his bullshit, I guess.
Sounds good.
That is very, very quiet. I apologize.
Been also very busy, forcing everyone to work on the show this weekend. It just occurred to me at one point, I think it was maybe Friday, technically Saturday morning at about 2:30. I had taken way too many Sabbaday gummies and had been drinking. And so I required everyone on the show to send me emails by 5 p.m. today to justify their jobs. What have you been doing? What have you been doing? I wasn't here the past week. I'd like to know exactly what it is you did. And coincidentally, that's also what happened with our federal government. I mean, honestly, if I just told you that I did that, I would hope everybody in this audience would react with, man, what a total dick.
Yep.
I think,
Yeah. What a prick.
Yeah. Wanker.
Yeah.
yeah, as opposed to.
Oh, but what a prick is
they're
worse from
getting
Spaced.
Yeah, spaced. Yeah.
Yep.
That is good.
That's good stuff.
efficient over there.
He says that to a child.
Yeah.
The child is off.
Our big stuff.
Exactly.
You take your 50p. There you go.
And then Bill Bailey, who plays his boss in that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, has to have a word.
Oh, that's the other thing. When I was in the UK, I got access.
You
to
bumped
Channel
into
4.
Bill Bailey.
I wish. I got access to the Channel 4 backlog, so I was watching some Black Books.
Oh, Black Books is amazing.
It is so good.
Dylan Black. No?
Moran.
Dylan Moran. Fuck's sake.
But the thing is, that what's really funny is I haven't watched that since I don't know, the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And so coming back to it like 20 years later, I'm like, oh, he's on the spectrum.
Oh yeah, no, he's autistic as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. I never realized, because I've grown a lot in terms of understanding neurodivergence in the last 20 years.
Just look at the layout of that shop. If
Oh,
I walk
so
into a
is Fran. Fran is totally also and so is Manny. They're both neurodivergent. They're all neurodivergent.
They're all nutters, yeah. I mean, just genuinely not balanced people.
But in a delightful way.
Yeah. But if you want to watch a show about a drunk Irishman that isn't racist, yeah.
I'm ready to start subscribing now.
Yeah, exactly. Now I realize that my subscription dollars will be stretched even further. Here is Donald Trump on Saturday tweeting out. Now, look, I don't want to get too deep into the psychology of Donald Trump's relationship with Elon Musk. All you need to know, and this should have been obvious from the beginning, when Musk says anybody in the House or the Senate who goes against what Donald Trump wants is going to get a well-funded primary challenge. Once you realize that Elon Musk was willing to open his coffers to benefit Donald Trump, there is no amount of personality issues that are going to drive these two apart. They have completely aligned incentive structure.
Yes and no. I know what Sam Cedar means by that, but you've got to bear in mind, A, Trump is not some cold, calculating political machine. He is an emotional little bitch. And secondly, the incentive structure you're mentioning there lasts for about 18 months.
Yeah, I don't see this lasting the full 2 years
because after the primaries leading into the midterms, Trump has no use for him. Assuming he's not going to overthrow the Constitution and run for a third term, then he has no use for him. Because there's no threat of primary blah 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 that is needed. So that structure goes completely. And to be honest with you, it weakens with every day anyway.
Yeah, I think that when Elon Musk starts to lose real money, I mean, we've already seen Tesla is currently below 300. His sales in Europe have been cut in half.
Yeah.
He's, did you see the fake ad that they put up on the bus stop in London? I'm not quite sure. I heard it was Covent Garden, but I'm not sure about
The
Elon Musk.
swastika.
Yeah, about 0 to 1939 in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my own home city, Birmingham, there was a nice one. Someone had used their printing machine very well. They'd printed it in the same shade of red but with white text and put it on a Tesla sign, and it just said, now powered with 100% small dick energy.
Yeah. So, I mean, eventually, the Tesla board are already selling shares. I don't know if you probably don't follow financial markets as much as I do, but the people on the board are already dumping Tesla shares. Right. And all these bag holders are going to just want to get out. And the economy is not doing well. The stock market is going down. Right. Things are not going well. Crypto people are not happy. All those people who are like, yeah, Trump's going to be the crypto president. And then he rug pulled them. And then he didn't do the sovereign fund. And now Bitcoin is under $90,000, which I got out at 103. So it's fine. But yeah, and it's all just falling apart underneath him. Right. And he's going to blame it all on Elon. And fucking good. But yeah.
Well, that's the thing. As soon as he starts making Trump look bad, and he does again that thing about cancelling Ebola protection.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Elon Musk said that as if he was going to get a laugh, not a fucking titter.
Well, he really can't read a room.
He can't read well because he's autistic as fuck. Yes, there's no social cues that he responds to. He responds to financial incentives and threat.
Yes, and threats to his ego, and
yeah.
Yep.
So he thought that was epic memes, bro. And Donald Trump's like, well, I'm president. You can't. What do you mean? You fucking cancelled Ebola protection, you cunt. What the fuck do you mean? Trump wouldn't even look at him.
Also, this is why I want Marcus on. Is I'm sorry, but who the fuck are you? I mean, I think that was what one of the guy from Lawfare is legally, when it comes to the Constitution and firing people and telling departments what to do. And Elon Musk being a special advisor to the president who's not appointed by Congress or has not gone through any of the legal channels, is not subject to the Freedom of Information Act kind of coverage. I love it. Absolutely love it. I might make that the background to my phone.
True. He's just sending his love out to the crowd.
Yes.
Did you also see loads of people at the CPAC conference also just sending their love out to the crowd?
Yes, and Steve Bannon as well.
It's just funny. It's just memes, bro. Honestly, we're going to be in camps about to be fucking gassed to death, and some conservative cunt is going to step in and go, "He's just memeing on you, bro."
Yeah, but from a power, how do you have valid power to exercise make these decisions?
Yeah,
it is a very much who the fuck are you again? I'm sorry, you're nothing. You're literally just a coffee boy for Trump. You can't tell people what to do.
Elon says, "Oh, I'm the head of Doge," and then officially Trump has to come out and say, No, he's not. He's
no,
just
no.
an advisor to the president. Because if
Yeah.
you're the head of a government agency, there are checks and balances, cunt. You have
And
to
if-
answer to Congress.
And if he's not the head of Doge, then there's no point. His emails are worthless.
Yeah.
You can't
Well,
threaten
they
people
are.
when you have no power.
They are, and we'll get to it. Like even Kash Patel, far right piece of shit who's just taken
Yeah.
over the FBI, and fucking Dan Bongino. Literally, Dan Bongino being made deputy
Yeah.
FBI. Someone compared it to if someone made Sargon the head of MI5.
I know it's idiocy. It is
A
incompetent
racist
white men all the
podcaster.
way down.
Well, Dan Bongino isn't technically white, and neither is Kash Patel. It's just racist cunts.
I don't know. He's white passing enough for me, and he allies himself with white supremacists.
Well, that
so I
is
just
certainly
lump
true.
him into that.
That is certainly
incompetent.
correct. Mad shit. But anyway, even Kash Patel was like, don't answer. Literally, one of the first things he had to do as director of the Federal Bureau of Investigations was tell his new employees, don't answer this thing from the president's fucking advisor.
Ignore it.
Yeah.
Ignore his threats.
Because,
Yeah.
like, the thing is, right, with the FBI, they handle quite sensitive information.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you don't want is an open-servered fucking lunatic freak like Elon Musk having emails going back and forth in a bureaucratic manner, which can be easily accessed by, I don't know, foreign or indeed domestic adversaries.
Yep.
With information that could be used to potentially protect criminality.
Oh my god! Did you see the stuff about the not deduplicating social security numbers?
Yeah, 150-year-old people are getting social security. Oh, you people are fucking idiots. Honestly,
Trump's like, if people don't reply to the email, they don't exist. Yeah, you're just paying workers who don't exist. That's what fucking world do you live in?
Yeah. Like, not just that, but you're going to improve government efficiency by adding a new, completely unnecessary and possibly illegal layer of bureaucracy.
Oh, and then that fires people and then has to go back and rehire them.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
That's efficient. That's
Fucking
super
brilliant.
efficient.
Yeah, fantastic work. Well
Oh,
done.
Marjorie Taylor Greene said federal workers don't deserve their paycheck. So I guess she thinks no one in the military deserves their paycheck.
Well, why can't you just
Or anyone.
inherit a business from your dad like she did?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Honestly, some people just choose to be born poor. Crazy.
And so Donald Trump
So who's this guy?
going out there.
Who's Sam Cedar?
No, you've got Adam Conover on my screen.
Oh, sorry. Oh, right. Okay. Well, he's the person we're going to watch next.
Oh,
Apologies.
okay, all right.
I clicked on the wrong thing.
That's fine. I'm glad I asked.
Adam Conover is a stand-up comedian who does good YouTube stuff as well.
He still probably has a little bit of psychological issues associated with this, but this is the way he deals with it. Elon's doing a great job, but I want to make it clear I'm boss, so I would like to see him get more aggressive. Remember, we have a country to save, but ultimately to make greater than ever before. MAGA. MAGA, I guess. Boot MAGA is what the new term is, boot MAGA. But MAGA, I guess.
But MAGA.
And then, by within a couple hours later, Elon Musk comes up with the plan. Here he is, consistent with President Trump's instructions. All federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they've got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. Now, putting aside the sort of the legal issues associated with that, I would imagine a lot of people last week were just dealing with the complete uncertainty of whether they have a budget, what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do, et cetera, et cetera. So, and some agencies are balking at it. Some agencies are, leaders are saying, yes, all hail President Trump and his Vice Chancellor Musk.
Yeah.
Vice Chancellor.
Now, people have to send an email, and I just want to do this as a public service, okay? People have to send the email to hr@opm.gov. Can we go back to Musk's original tweet for a second? All federal employees, look, you folks aren't all federal employees, but you can set an example for what federal employees should do. This isn't, freedom's not free. if we want our federal government to work efficiently, we all have to account.
Yeah, be the change you want to see in the federal government.
So here's what I thought we could do, chat.
Oh, are we all gonna write an email?
We're all I've got one, but you can also write one if you want as well. I've got there we go. It's open hr@opm.gov. What I did last week, and I've already got the days. I've already written down the days, and I thought you and I, chat, could make up some fucking mental shit and send it to Elon Musk.
Oh, you want to hear mine?
Go for it.
All right, so I made a 2,000 word. I asked ChatGPT to do it for me because I couldn't be fucked.
Lazy bitch.
Yeah, exactly. And the body of the message is, because it's my private email, out of office, my 5 bullet points of what I did last week. So it's basically one, assisting a taxpayer with a filing error, and then it goes on like that, and then hold on, open it up, Chris. Oh, how do I open this? Hold on, I need to see the full body of it.
She needs to see the full body.
Yeah.
Not just the tip.
Ah, god damn it.
The
Hold
email
on.
address, well, if you wanted to email them,
Yeah,
you
give
know,
me- yeah, let me get it up on my computer
it's,
instead of my phone.
hr@opm.gov. That's
Yes,
hr@opm.gov. OPM stands for the Office of Personnel Management.
Definitely, if you do want to use AI, it's a good opportunity to do that.
I don't want to use AI, Christy. I think AI
that's
needs to
fine.
fuck off and burn to death forever.
I
So
don't know why.
I thought we
But
could.
anyway, it ended up with point 4 was I started an investigation of tax fraud, tax evasion, and things like that. And then eventually it became, I discovered that the person responsible was Elon Musk.
Yeah. so my one, I'm going to go a bit quizzical with it on Monday, right? I got into a staring match with a pigeon because he looked like a Frenchman. There you go. That's what I did on Monday. That's what I did on Monday, chat. Anyone else? Any suggestions? Any suggestions for things we could do on the various days, and I will throw them in there. I don't give a fuck how mental they are, just not illegal.
Very good. So we're gonna, every day of the week, we're gonna email, group email a new.
No. You've got to do the whole week. Hang on. Well, I should probably share with you. Right.
Yeah.
So you've got to do all 5 days, right, as the email. That's sort of the point, right? You want to know what you did on the 5 days.
Yeah, yes.
So
We did last week.
yeah. So what I did last week. There we go.
let's see.
So on Monday, that's what I did. Okay. What else should I put for the different day? Tuesday. I'll give you Tuesday, Christy. What should I do for Tuesday? What did I do?
Tuesday, I solved the Middle East crisis.
Tuesday, I tickled Benjamin Netanyahu's gooch. That's what you said, wasn't it? I think that's what you said.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay, chat. What else? What else did we do? Mr. Giggles with a belter went to Walmart and found maps and manually corrected them to Gulf of America.
Love it.
That's
Love
beautiful. That's beautiful. Let's go. Yes, let's go. That's Wednesday. Sorted. Boom. And don't forget, chat, if you wanted to help Elon Musk, hang on a minute. How do I copy and paste? Why won't it let me copy and paste? Control V. There we go. Speaking of V, I was watching a video in the week about communism and stuff. Anyway, or people that used to live in communist countries, and V popped up.
Of all people.
Of all people,
Wow.
because he's from Romania,
Romania,
right?
yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, it was like a blast from the past. I wasn't expecting this. Fucking V.
Yeah, and was he just referenced, or was he in the show or on the program?
Well, no, he was referenced as like one of the people who like whinges about, oh, I used to live in a communist country, etc., etc.
Okay.
Yeah. Which, like, okay. I shat in my hand and clapped. That'll do. That's a belter. Love it. Love it, people. Love it. There we go. Control V. Now we just need a Friday and we can send it off. and everything's lovely. A very Elon Musk related one. I think he'll react well to this one. Investigate surgeries that break tiny little penises. There you go. Yeah.
Nice.
Penises. There we go. I hope this email finds you well, Elon. You fucking melter.
Oh, and the other thing was apparently the Doge people hadn't configured the email system right, so a lot of it was being recognized as spam in the federal government, and so the employees weren't even getting the emails.
Brilliant. So the 20-year-old fucking 4chaners that they've got running a government department that they just made up don't know how to do anything. Brilliant.
Nope.
So that's hr@opm.gov. If you wanted to just, help, definitely help this endeavour, you can do that, okay? Brilliant. Send. Fuck yes. Let's go. You know what? I'm glad I helped the efficiency of the US federal government. I feel better. Don't you feel better, chat? Krista, you must feel better knowing that your government dollars are being spent better because of our efforts.
I am efficiency.
Brilliant. Okay. Freedom of speech. We just freedomed all over their speech. It's beautiful. Don't forget, if you want to help me, you can't send me an email, or I suppose you can, but you shouldn't. What you should do is hit the follow button and subscribe and do bits messages and
Do all that kind of good stuff.
become a member and do super chats, and I'll read them out if they don't get read out already. So, yeah.
Do it.
100%. And if you want to show MAGA, if you want to make America great again, you got to do something like
Portal asks a very good question in chat. If not responding to the email is a firing offence, does that mean if you do send the email, they have to hire you? I think that's how it works, isn't it?
Sounds good to me.
For every action, there's an equal and opposite stupid reaction. So I imagine that is. I think apparently now I work for the US Forestry Service. Can I be the new Smokey the Bear?
You'd be a great Smokey.
He's got to be dead now. He's
Yeah.
fucking old, man. No offence, Smokey. You did great work. God bless.
You were like
but-
big in the 80s. and stuff.
Exactly, yeah. Only you can help forest fires by creating more forest fires. I think that's what it was, wasn't it? Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, we'll go with that.
this too. So
Don't forget to drop lit cigarettes in dry fields. Like, it's stuff like that, I reckon.
we've, Bradley's given you the email address. It is. I wish we could get that a little bit bigger.
Make it bigger.
HR@opm.gov. Now, here's an example of something that I've written up, but how did I write this up? Sam, how did you manage to figure this out? Like, do you have training in this type of thing? And I don't. I'm not going to pretend like I do, but what I do have is ChatGPT.
See?
And
Yep,
so I
we're on the same
asked
page.
ChatGPT, I asked it if, if I wanted to write an email to the OPM based upon this Musk thing, they said there's a couple of things that you could do. And I may have added, if it was going to be as annoying as possible. One, make it extremely long-winded, use excessive detail.
See, we bollocks that up. We didn't do that.
No, that's what I did. That's why I couldn't be bothered. I was like, ChatGPT, I want a 2,000 word thing and 5 bullet points, and I want these to be the 5 themes, and that's it. Just did it for me. Yeah.
But you know what? I think Trump will appreciate the efficiency of my message, particularly.
Relevant anecdotes
its seriousness.
Over-explanation. Include unnecessary jargon. Use technical terms, bureaucratic language, and acronyms that they may not recognize. Ask redundant and confusing questions. Use formatting cases, mix fonts, bold colors, and italics inconsistently. We get a lot of that, actually, to the show.
True.
You can do
That's what I used to love about Drudge Report, just randomly underlining sentences for no
Yeah.
reason.
this with ChatGPT. They will actually write one. You can say, you know, Elon Musk has asked the federal work.
How many people asked Grok to come up with their responses?
Oh, that would be ironic, would it not? That would be
To justify what they
Lots of
did this
irony.
week. If I wanted to write an annoying version of that email, what would it look like? And they'll write it up for you. I had written my own freehand, not as good maybe as the ChatGPT, but so this is what I did. I just put them like days, and then I ran out of interest after like Monday. But Monday. Rid office of all DEI coffee and pastry, which means only American coffee
Yes.
in the office, and ripped a croissant out of a coworker's hand. Tuesday,
Yes.
kept my ears open.
Still my favourite piece of Americana ever after 9/11.
Yeah.
The French obviously went, we'd rather not do that illegal war in Iraq, thank you very much. So there was a wave of anti-Frenchness, which I'll be honest with you, I was torn about. Because I like anti-Frenchness, but I did agree with the French on this one, which is rare for me. But there you go.
Very awkward situation for you.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't. Bush did not think about how that would personally affect me, and I
Or
can't
like
help
when
but
Nick
feel
Fuentes went, yeah, you know, the Roman salute is getting a bit too much.
it's a bit much for me. Yeah, it's I can't help but feel that Bush was doing that personally to annoy me. Yeah, and then renamed French fries in the cafeteria of
fries?
Congress to freedom fries. Genius,
It is.
genius.
God.
Or and people were like, America's gone downhill, America, blah, blah, blah. And that just shows you don't understand history. During World War One, they renamed sauerkraut to Liberty cabbage.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
So it's not remotely a new thing.
can I tell you, a German friend I had to make fun of him because he lives in a small town. And you know how it is when you, well, no, you don't know how it is when you grow up in a small town. When you grow up in a small town, you have to kind of find your entertainment where you find it.
Yeah. A lot of teenage pregnancies from boredom.
Yes. Well, in this case, this was less about the fecundity issue that Elon Musk seems obsessed with. And it's an annual thing. They go on a cabbage walk.
Okay, please explain.
Cabbage walk is they get a bunch of booze and they walk to a place that serves cabbage and amongst other things, and then they have some cabbage. And they also play this game. I think they might do this. I think I saw it in Ireland on a show I watched where you like take a ball and you roll it down the road and you see how far it gets, and whoever rolls the ball to the venue you're going to first wins. Do you know this one?
I don't, Christy, and all I'll say is if you play any of these games in your town, move. There's not enough going on. You're going to die of boredom. You need to move to a bigger city.
I wrote to him on Saturday. I'm like, how drunk are you? At like 2:00 in the afternoon. He's like, I've had 10 shots, a liter of beer, and half a cocktail so far.
Oh, so regular. Just a chill.
Yeah.
Just a chill one tonight, yeah? Not going
Yeah,
hard.
but when you
Okay.
said Liberty Cabbage, it reminded me of the cabbage. Yeah. And I just thought, I'm like, yeah, you grew up in a small town, didn't you? Because I know that exactly. You do whatever it takes to keep yourself entertained. It usually involves alcohol.
Well, see,
or
this is having grown up in a big city and lived all of my life in urban conurbations. I can't help but feel that the countryside is full of scum who need to be purged from humanity. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Okay, calm yourself. Oh my good God, that works so much better than I imagined. Christy,
What's that?
I think I found a new emote.
Okay.
I think I've definitely found a new emote. Kevy the Bear.
Oh my
Boom.
God, oh my God, look how good that looks.
That's amazing. That's
look at your
fucking
six-pack.
amazing.
Look at your berry boobs.
Honestly, I mean, take the children out of the situation.
Yeah, that's you.
I could go for a bit. I could cut off a slice, definitely. That's amazing. Honestly, I'm making that into an email. I need to resize it and all that bollocks. But
Yeah, who made that?
I think it was a Frenchman, which again just makes me feel dirty and not in a good way. Lord Fritus. Yeah.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Thank you very much,
That's
Lord
great.
Fritus. And what is this? This is some sort of graffiti, I believe. Oh, good Lord. Okay. I mean, good, but in a different way. A graffiti from Mexico, I'm led to believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, we can go with that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're gonna show the picture I sent you about Elon got the arms right.
What the fuck are you talking
Oh,
about?
you know when Elon jumped up and at the Trump rally and he threw his arms in the air?
Did you send me I don't have anything of that nature.
It's in the Discord. Yeah.
You'll have to find it then, because I don't have it.
Okay. It's a little bit edgy, I will say.
Is it? Okay, we'll leave it then. If it's too much, Christy.
Well, it goes back to that thing that you were talking about.
So no, I do remember, and I've already played it. Yeah.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah,
All
we've
right,
already
hold
played
up.
it. It's to the tune of Ciao Bella, which is a famous anti-fascist song from Italy. The Elon Musk doing the jumping in the air bit, and then he spins around and it becomes Mussolini. Get your 707 emotes in
Yeah,
chat.
Mussolini at the end, shall we say?
Yeah, exactly. Not like him in his pomp or anything. Him when he's dead and upside down. Lol.
Looking for people using DEI language and formulated a list of people in office who use the letters DEI, more often than others, or in a suspicious manner, or suspiciously often. For
True.
example,
True.
we have a plastic container with pencil pretzels. I think everybody knows what those like, the really narrow pencil pretzels. Not sure that's authorized because you don't know if it's authorized these days. Often people don't screw on the lid tightly enough. Then people grab for it, the lid flies off, and pretzels will spray everywhere. So a certain coworker, I have obviously deleted the name of the coworker here in this email for this audience, but you can name a coworker, or you can come up with or you can just call him coworker, has a strange reaction where one would normally say this darn thing.
Oh, oh my god, it got better. How did you even do what? 255 has taken an original piece of artwork and made it even better.
Impossible.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Boom, there we go. Fucking legendary.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Yeah, I like that. Oh, can you? Well, actually, you could swap. If you can make Rory Cat's the one grabbing at his leg, and then put my face where Rory Cat's is.
Stop giving them homework, Christy. I already made them think of things. They're gonna fucking have a burnout.
Can you shill for like a minute?
I can. I'll leave this on the screen as well. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Let's
do.
go. Hello there, chat. What we do on this channel is, I think, worthwhile. This is politics, okay? This is socialism. What you are seeing on the screen right now is the fruits of Kev socialism. And if you want to be a part of that, if you want to invest, get in on the ground floor of the Kevolution, you can hit the follow button and subscribe. You can do bits messages, you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, you can give subs to the community, you can do super chats via the Streamlabs link below. I've got Patreon and PayPal. I've got Discord, YouTube, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. If you're on YouTube, you can what can you do on YouTube? You can become a member for 99 pence. Or you can give memberships to the community. Or you can just hit the like button if you haven't got any money. That's also fine. That's yeah. Like that's it. All helps, you know. Yeah. Why did you replace Kev's body with a less furry? I am quite hairy, to be fair. Look at that. There's a nice bit of fluff there. You're very welcome, everybody. That was free. That was a freebie. If you want more, you'll have to subscribe to the OnlyFans that doesn't and will never exist. But there we go. Yes. God, this is weird. It's a weird image, and I think this is what this technology was made for. I think was putting my face onto that of Smokey the Bear. It works so perfectly. It's fucking delightful. Kev, don't make me take off the shirt to show you what hair it really looks like. Well, I imagine that as a Slav, I imagine you're like a kind of wolf creature, phantom, is what I'm thinking.
Oh, I've got another critique. Well, another suggestion, if someone has the time, to replace Smokey with Kev on the buckle belt. And why is his name on his hat and his belt? Does he not know what his belt is? Like, does he not know which belt is his?
He's probably one of those people that's really difficult to buy for at Christmas. So people just get him like, well, his name's Smokey, and like, so he's got a smoky hat and a smoky belt and smoky socks. Oh, he's a nightmare.
Like a baby
Underwear.
otter.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like his mum has stitched it in there for him, but it's just on his fucking everything. That's why he's not wearing a shirt. It's in his smoky shirt's in the wash, and he doesn't want to like ruin the theme.
Oiled like a baby otter.
Thank you to who the fuck was that? Max, just Max. That's it. Thank you to Max for gifting 5 memberships on the
Thanks,
on the
Max.
YouTubes. Much love to you. Maybe he has roommates that borrow.
Oiled like
Yeah,
a
that's
baby
true.
otter.
Yeah. You don't want to be caught in someone else's. Actually, the worst one I had. My mum bought me some socks once that had the days of the week on it,
Yeah.
which is like a cool idea.
Like a baby
Except of
otter.
course you never have the right fucking day, so you always look like a dirty bastard who's wearing Tuesday socks on Thursday. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a
Like,
lot to ask someone to do socks on a weekly basis enough to have the right day ready all the time.
I don't think I ever had the right day, like ever.
Yeah.
And then you end up with odd ones. You end up with a Thursday and a Wednesday, and you're like, oh, who cares? I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, is anyone even looking at the socks? Who? What? Seriously? Unless like they're very brightly coloured and they're wearing like shorts, so you can definitely see them. Who even looks at socks?
Yeah.
Would you even notice?
You know, I had a big question about this, like, because I always match my socks, and I decided to ask a group of people, like, so do you all find the same sock every single day and wear paired socks? And most people look like I was crazy. They're like, no, as long as they fit on my feet, they're clean. That's minimal acceptance. Like, oh, okay, interesting.
There you go.
Oh, let me see. Yeah. I love it.
That's
Absolutely.
beautiful.
See, isn't that cute?
That is a very
Aw.
cute. That is delightful.
I like how little I am.
I am also though. I am kind of touching your ass. Which...
Well, I mean, hashtag life goals, right?
True. Love it. Okie doke. Where?
Seam, keeps flipping open. This person wrote, or I should said, but this darned thing. Why use 2 Ds? Then follow it up with every I'm. The coworker seemed to drop the T. So in other words, but this darned thing, every I'm. This coworker is not British, yet they drop the T. Darned. D. Highlight that. Every. E.
Oh my god!
I'm. DEI.
It was there the whole time.
Yep.
How could you have been
Anyways,
so
I will
blind?
continue to observe this person. Wednesday, tweeted outlandish conspiracy theories. Let's see what else. Made a spreadsheet of all actions taken Tuesday described above. Thursday, changed all screensavers in the office to the word
That's not funny, Vogel. Bostonians also drop the T, spelled T-E-A. Not cool. Okay? You still owe us that T. Don't even fucking start, okay? Dickheads.
MAGA. And Friday took a personal day. Now, you can write your own email, but the point is, if you want to show solidarity
True.
with federal workers,
Exactly.
or show solidarity with Doge, it works both ways. You should do this.
Exactly. hr@opm.gov. Make it so, people. Make it so. Yes. Anyway, moving on, because we've only got an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Adam Conover from Adam Does Everything, Knows Everything, whatever the fuck it is. Anyway, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are insecure men. And it's true. They
Yes, 100%.
So you might have noticed that seated at Trump's inauguration were the three richest men in America: Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk. Combined, these three broligarchs have 6 testicles and $880 billion. That's nearly $150 billion bucks a nut. But have you noticed that these nerds look a little...
That is the way we should measure things from now on. That's the metric. How many dollars per testicle?
Yeah.
Fact.
less dweeby than they used to? I mean, Elon was a balding code gremlin before his glow up. Bezos, once a simple dork, is today the most jacked and taut 61-year-old on the planet. And just a couple of years ago, Zuck was a pasty-faced robot glitching out before Congress. But now, he looks like the most swagged out real estate agent in all of Orlando. He looks like a TikToker who quit his dad's used car dealership to do pranks with his boys. He looks like a piece of broccoli who got a Billabong gift card. There's something weird.
Piece of broccoli that got a Billabong disc is
You like that one?
fucking genius. Yes.
Going on here. Why exactly do these guys have so much to prove? Why does Zuck need to show us he's lifting big weights? Why does Musk need to tell us he's the world's greatest gamer? And why does Bezos desperately feel the need to share a shirtless selfie every 30 seconds? It's simply
True.
bizarre. These men have enough money to buy themselves limitless power. Hell, Elon used his money to cuck the president and destroy the federal government. But the one thing they can't seem to buy is a stable and confident sense of their own manhood. For some reason,
Or indeed love. Because they can find sycophancy, but that doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
They're ultimately not likable people because the only thing they care about is the acquisition of wealth. And that doesn't leave a lot of time or energy for the maintenance of healthy relationships.
that is not for sale. Why? Why are the most powerful men in the world constantly embarrassing themselves by trying to prove how manly they are? Well, there's a powerful theory from psychology that perfectly explains this phenomenon. It's been validated in research from all over the world, and it shows exactly what drives these billionaires to ever more cringy attempts to demonstrate their masculinity. Like, come on.
Yeah, that is the worst thing I've ever seen. That is atrocious.
It's really embarrassing.
That's what Chris Martin would have looked like if he'd been American. Which, to be honest with you, would have saved us from Coldplay at least. So, you know. Just saying.
Man. And it also explains the crisis facing young men in America and exactly how our politics as a nation have gotten so f***ed up. But before we get into it, I just want to remind you that I'm taking my big manly body on tour doing stand-up comedy right now. The Nihilism Pivot Tour continues at Talia Hall in Chicago on February 21st. If you're watching this video the day it comes out, that is today. The Wilbur in Boston on February 23rd, March 6th through 8th. I'll be in Burlington, Vermont. And then I'll be at the Leicester Square Theatre in London in the UK on March 22nd.
Leicester.
No, well, he was in London presumably on the same day you
Yeah.
were then. Probably.
Had no idea.
Or
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know.
Amsterdam on March 26th, then Providence, Rhode Island, Vancouver, and Eugene, Oregon. Head to adamconover.net for all those tickets. And if you'd like to support this channel directly, head to patreon.com/adamconover. So, guys, I'm talking to my men here. Let's level with each other. Do you ever have that feeling? No matter how often you prove your masculinity, there's no guarantee that you're permanently part of the man club, no matter how long the arc on your football throw.
I've never had this issue. By the way, great pause. Love it. I've never felt this, right? I always just thought like masculinity was being who you are. Right? So you are whoever you are. I'm as masculine as I want to be at any given moment. I've never ever felt the need to prove anything to anyone in that regard.
I'm very happy to hear that.
I'm me.
I know a lot of, well, there's a lot of, watching videos on like getting fit. I know that there's discussions of younger men getting body dysmorphia because they see guys on steroids in the gym who are like not having natural growth of their muscles and feeling like that is what a man is and that they don't meet up those standards. It's kind of on the upside of looking at someone who's had plastic surgery to have a boob and butt implant and thinking, oh, that's what my body should look like, and if I'm not, I'm not pretty,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
How beefy your big boy truck or how rare your Fortnite skin, you have to keep performing your manhood all day, every day, or else risk it being questioned or maybe even taken away. This attitude is so common. Social media is full of videos telling us that even the way we sit needs to communicate manliness.
This is definitely a more feminine way to sit, but a man who's masculine is going to take up space, right?
Oh yeah,
Can you
nothing's
pause it?
more secure and masculine.
This will, history buff, you'll, I'm sure, know this. The way that European Germans identified American soldiers who were spies. Some of the ways.
They'd offer them a cheeseburger. I don't know.
No, well, one is Americans will sit in a four, like with their ankle on their knee. They won't cross their ankles when they sit.
Oh,
Which,
okay.
yeah, and also on the continent you tend to count one from your thumb.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And when you say I'd like one beer, please, and they'd hold up one finger as opposed to one thumb. These are just like little cultural differences that would out you as a spy.
Interestingly, in Britain, one of the ways they did it, and this is apparently just fucking true, even Germans who speak English really well mispronounce the letter Y as a J constantly. So like Yardley would become Jardley or something like that. And so they used to catch loads of them like that. Which is, I always think, quite
a
funny.
sort of Shebowith, as it were.
Yes, yes.
Biblical reference there for you.
Indeed.
And what did the Hebrews do to people who couldn't pronounce the word Shebowith?
They would teach them because they wanted to share knowledge and totally not kill them or anything.
And totally not kill them for being a foreigner. Yeah.
No.
And then letting another man tell you how to sit. Well, there is a powerful
Exactly. That's the point. Some dickhead being like, "No, you have to behave this way, otherwise you're not a man." Suck my dick.
Yeah.
What the fuck off, man?
Well, that's the whole thing. Like, we watched Andrew Tate verbally abuse his followers, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Well, that's because the fascists don't want to be their own self-actualized people. They want to be drones. They want to be followers. They need a daddy to shout at them. Mm-hmm. It's almost a kink. I don't think it is necessarily a sexual thing, although for some it probably is. But I think it's they feel so sort of pathetic inwardly that they need to be told what to do. They can't just do it.
Yeah, they want to be a loyal soldier. They don't want to be a thinker or like they want to be led.
Yeah, exactly.
So they want to be led by someone who makes them feel like they're special and chosen on the inside.
Exactly, yeah, it's a club, yeah, they're inside of. But in order to be inside of, you need to be shouted at by daddy. And fuck that noise. Like, for me, there are as many masculinities as there are men.
Exactly.
You all do your own fucking thing. If you need to be
doing
told
it's
how to do
masculine
it.
for you.
Also,
Yeah,
if you need to be told it, it's not fucking natural then, is it? Mm-hmm. Like the way you sit is somehow indicative of what you are. No.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. For some people, it is more comfortable to spread. Although, again, be socially conscious. You don't take up all the seats.
When you have to sit on public trains or take public transportation, you don't spread. Well, at least,
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Be aware of your surroundings. But for some people, having a bit more space is comfortable. Mm-hmm. Especially on a hot day, I'm just saying. You need aeration. That is a thing. But for some people, it isn't. And that's also fucking fine. And it doesn't matter what gender they are.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. Although, one of my favourite memes, the amount of things that people have described as like being gay or being like unmasculine or whatever. Kemi Badenoch, literally leader of His Majesty's Loyal Opposition in Parliament, describing sandwiches as, I forget exactly what she said, but basically she was saying sandwiches are gay. I forget the exact description she used, but it boiled down to that. Unless you're eating steak, you're a puff. What the fuck are you talking? What the hell is that? Fucking mad shit.
Psychological theory that explains exactly why masculinity operates like this. It's called fragile masculinity. Now, before you kick my ass, let me just say, that's not saying you're fragile.
That was it. Yeah, no, she said eating sandwiches was wimpy.
What?
Yeah, amazing. It's a sandwich. What the
Well,
fuck are
is
you
that-
talking
wait.
about?
Was that a play on Wimpy from a Popeye? Because Popeye always wanted a sandwich.
No, she was just saying it's weak.
Oh, okay.
She was basically saying sandwiches are gay. Which, like, I mean, gay people do eat sandwiches, but like, I think straight people do too.
Yes.
I've
'cause they're
seen
food.
it because it's literally just bread and filling. It's the most basic piece of food ever.
strong man and I don't want any trouble. It's the structure of masculinity in our society that's fragile. In our culture, manhood is not something fixed that you get by virtue of being born with a dick between your legs. Instead, it's a status that you need to earn publicly. And that means it's also something you can lose. That makes our social idea of masculinity a continuous source of anxiety for many men, which, as we'll see, has serious repercussions. Now, just so you know that I'm not talking out of my unwiped manly ass, the theory...
Yeah, that thing, wiping your ass is gay. What the fuck are you talking about? Just clean your arsehole, you fucking weird freak. Jesus Christ.
All right, we could use that. Is that too gross? This theory draws on decades of work in different fields. In 1990, an anthropologist named David Gilmour published a book called Manhood in the Making.
What, the guy from Pink Floyd?
Yeah.
Surely not.
No. Definitely
That would be one hell of a career change.
Well, Brian May has a PhD in physics, doesn't he?
True, but that was just he was a student and then became a rock star. I don't think he ever did. I think I remember he did infrared cosmology or some fucking shit. Yeah, like some crazy shit. But I think he just became a rock star.
As a side gig.
And he
Yeah, and to be fair, it paid off for him. You gotta give him
that worked out. It worked out.
He found that in non-industrial and agrarian societies globally, manhood was a precious status that men had to earn. Depending on your culture, it might require killing an antelope, going through a circumcision ritual without anesthetic, or putting your hand in a glove filled with fire ants. You know, just regular dude stuff. Other social scientists have since confirmed Gilmour's findings, and data from history, psychology, sociology, and political science have all shown how widespread these beliefs are. A huge international study looked to see if fragile masculinity existed in 62 different countries, and it found that men and women in hunter-gatherer tribes all the way to Nordic social democracies all see...
Sean again, not only did Brian Cox play the keyboard, he played the keyboard for D-Ream, the band that made Things Can Only Get Better.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was the keyboardist in that band that made that one song that became famous because Tony Blair used it as an anthem. It wasn't strictly speaking a political song at all.
No, they just adopted it.
It summed up the rebirth type, narrative of the new Labour Party and Britain and all that shit. Cool Britannia.
manhood as something hard to get, easy to lose, and that has to be proven in public. But we're talking about America right now. So how do you prove your manhood in America? After all, we don't have fire ant glove rituals. Well, according to 50 literal years of research, American masculinity enforces values like aggression, risk-taking, physical achievement, and competition. And let's be clear, those are good values in many, many cases. But according to the theory of fragile masculinity, the more you express those values, the more you need to prove them in public, because once again, your manhood is always at risk of being taken away. And that explains what has been happening with Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. We'll get to Elon in a second, but let's start with the Zuck. The man's got a wife, he's got kids, he's got literal billions of dollars, so you know he's a good provider. But still, Mark feels the need to constantly...
But again, this is the problem with the kind of false masculinity thing. Elon Musk is undoubtedly, for that little child, a good financial provider.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
But clearly, he's not a provider. clearly
emotional. Yeah.
this person is going to grow up to be a freak. I think we've seen that a perfect example, and a more matured version is Baron Trump. Mm-hmm. No doubt Donald Trump looked after him financially. That kid wanted for nothing, and
Yes.
it shows. Because he's a little cunt. Yeah, that's exactly the point. No emotional maturity whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that I think there are probably generations of men who grow up thinking that to be a good dad is to go out and work and bring home money to provide for your family and be the disciplinarian, or
Yeah.
go out and work and provide for your family and then play with the kids on the weekend.
Yeah.
But that whole emotional role, it's, like being there for the emotional stuff and modeling a good, healthy relationship and a work-life balance, all these and accepting multiple forms of masculinity, that's not really been the
Well,
strength of human societies going backwards.
to be fair, Christy, emotions are gay.
Yeah, exactly. This is the whole thing about women have emotions, so men can't have emotions because otherwise we'll be like women.
Yeah. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Elon Musk is also a deadbeat when it comes to some of the other kids that aren't like immediately useful to him anymore.
Yeah,
But like that one kid is not going to starve to death until it
You
becomes
can't-
too old to be used as a human shield.
you can't brag about claiming that you sleep in the office all the time and live stream fucking your cheated video game account and spend quality time with your kid. You just can't do all those things. You can't.
Well,
It's a lie.
you can lie to yourself and tell yourself you're doing that when you're ketted off your fucking tits.
And that's exactly where we are now. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I want to know what was in that cup he kept fucking drinking from, because that was a relatively small cup. So what was in it?
I just think, by the way, it's absolutely hilarious. Tesla is currently down under, it's $288. And
Oh, 88, appropriate.
yes. And let's see where it was this time last week. Last week, Tuesday, it was at $360.
Well, that's the thing. People don't want to buy your cars. Look, I don't know how to tell you this, dickhead, but your cars are only going to be sold to, let's say, gays, right? The gay liberal woke elite. Mm-hmm. Your average fucking you MAGA people aren't going to buy electric cars. Are you fucking joking? They want cars that run on fucking mashed up brown people that you feed into a fucking burning chamber. That's what they want, ideally, but they'll settle for petroleum instead. Right? As a second place compromise. They're never buying your fucking vehicles. So you are actively destroying any chance you have of the actual consumer base buying your product. Now, in an increasingly and highly competitive market where already massively established car companies are getting better at electric vehicles, that's like a recipe for disaster. No one is going to fucking buy it. You are going to have essentially a meme coin of a fucking stock price soon. Mm-hmm. Literally, you're going to have a lower stock price than fucking Dogecoin.
And what's he going to do? Because his wealth doesn't come from taking a paycheck.
No.
He gets stocks and he uses that to borrow money. And what happens when the value of his stock plummets like it's currently doing?
Exactly, yeah. Well, that's what I've said. His money is mostly fake.
Yes.
Because he doesn't actually sell many cars, that the actual underpinning, the real core of what his businesses are, isn't about selling a product. It's essentially selling the theory of what a product might be worth at some point in the future.
Oh, it's always the next big thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That he's always hyping up, and he never delivers.
Well, that's why. That's why he does his thing. Oh, we're going to be on Mars in 10 years because it's about pumping the next nonsense. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Here's an interesting thing. You know how we've covered after he bought Twitter and got a bunch of debt and
the Everything app.
Yeah, the Everything app, which you use for everything. The banks and that loaned him money were having a really, really hard time moving the debt. They had it on their books for like years and years and years.
Yeah.
Well, after he got into the Trump administration, they actually moved all that debt because I think a lot of people decided it would be good if Elon Musk owed them a lot of money. Because why? Because now they can influence him.
Yeah. It's
So
what's called compromat or leverage.
Leverage, and definitely. And yeah, with Tesla tanking, we're definitely going to see his wealth drop significantly, and then that debt's going to be a little bit more difficult to pay off because he won't be able to just sell shares in order to raise capital.
Yeah.
So I guess, we're to the finding out part of the fucking around. I don't think we're quite all the way through the finding out phase of
Yeah.
things, but we're definitely in the start. We're in the beginning of that phase.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and Facestabber's quite right. If we can sell a few vehicles to the government because they definitely need them, honest, that will like insulate him for a little bit. But you've got to bear in mind there is a point at which Donald Trump won't be around.
Yep.
And he's not just going to carry on being this guy forever. And he's young enough that he won't be 80 by the time that comes. He's created such a massive bubble that has to begin bursting, and we're seeing that now, I think.
Yeah, I think that even for Elon Musk, if it was got out that the Cybertruck he's basically cutting federal workers while having the federal government buy his Cybertruck.
Yeah.
He's already doing that with Starlink. Like, he's already trying to, there's just no lack of course, there's no oversight in Congress over the corruption because they're part of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're as thick as thieves. Yeah. Yeah. And they're all going to get like pork barrel spending for their own little, thing in fucking Missouri or whatever. Yeah. That's how it works. Like, Trump isn't draining the swamp. Trump has never made the swamp swampier.
Yeah. He's flooding it.
Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah.
He proved to the world that he's not a little bitch. So he's been reaching for the classic masculine value of aggression and getting super into mixed martial arts. Ooh, very strong, Mark. You would definitely protect your family from a clan of ninjas in a back alley. Now look, there's nothing wrong with getting in shape and posting your gains on social media. I do the same thing. Look, we're all just trying to get yoked for YouTube, baby. But getting in lethal fighting shape wasn't enough for Zuck. He felt the need to keep proving himself. Dude needed to show the world he was more than just the guy who added stories to Facebook, stories to Instagram, and stories to Messenger, and also WhatsApp status updates that you can now post as stories back to Facebook. So Zuck showed up to...
Innovation. Capitalism breeds all kinds of innovation.
A real UFC fight as part of the entourage of Australian featherweight Alexander the Great Volkanovski. And there, in a desperate attempt to show us he's tough.
Yeah, but that's only because Elon Musk was definitely going to have a fight against him in the Colosseum in Rome. That was definitely a thing that was actually going to happen, honest.
Mm-hmm.
He did this.
Also, just as we're sorry, I didn't even. Well, we barely even talked about the German elections, but you weren't even there, so we'll.
No,
catch
I was
up.
out of the town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll catch up next week on that when you've had some time to digest.
Also, I think. Yeah, go ahead. You make a comment, but then I have a quick comment about it too.
Yeah, sorry. On Italy, America's gone so far to the right now that even Giorgia Meloni, who is just a fascist, just a basic fucking Eurofash,
You're
is now out there like, we can't rely on America. Europe as a collective, we need to get together and look to our own defense. And I'm like, oh my god. She's literally talking about getting independence from America. Did you see Merz, the potentially next Chancellor of Germany, was saying that? Literally said we need independence from the USA.
That was his, before the election was even confirmed. That was his big... Well, that was what... Here's the thing is, in non-German media, that was what was picked up on. Especially American media, because it's very American.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Although I'm not saying it wasn't a big deal here too, but I think there was just, of all the things that happened that night, people tended to go, oh my gosh, Germany is going to become a great power in Europe again. I think, and...
I don't think that, but...
Well, he's talking about increasing defense spending.
Well, yeah, but they're going to have to... Once Trump moves the 35,000 American troops out of Germany, yeah.
But that's kind of it. Like, we're going to there's a whole discussion about how is that going to get funded and, increasing weapons sales, purchases, and all that sort of stuff. But it looks like, at least the last thing I saw, is that they're going to have to form a coalition with the SPD.
Yeah,
and
the only combination that works, yeah.
Yeah, and that means that probably my dual citizenship isn't on the chopping block, which makes me feel a little bit better. Yet, yes, I need to get my paperwork. Because I actually had a moment of when I realized that the CDU won. I was like, if they take away dual citizenship, I'm going to have to pick. I'm like, really, this time going to have to pick, and I don't think I would pick America.
Yeah, I think that's probably the wise choice, in all honesty.
And the thing is that's like a getting married kind of commitment. Like to give up your citizenship in one country and become a citizen of another, especially when you're an immigrant. of that, and kind of cut off all ties to where you came from. At least you can still visit, but you have no right of residency anymore.
Yeah.
So
You'd
I'm
be
gonna
like
get my paperwork.
you'd be the German Boris Johnson.
Yeah. Yes. Basically. But yeah. So we should probably have a government by Easter, is what I saw in the news.
Well, that's what he wants, but I'm told that
Yeah.
it would be unlikely to be done in quite such a short space of time.
Probably, but that'll be the first marker. Let's see how
Yeah.
they do.
Indeed. Yes. Anyway, no, that he's not. It says UFC, not KFC. That's Ultimate Fighting Championship, or Ultimate Fried Chicken, if that's what
That
you're
would
after.
be would be funny though if he had KFC on it.
True.
He looks at the podium, he's boxing heavy, so of course it's paid special attention.
But that's the thing. Like, you can try and be like Billy Big Bollocks, but you still look like a massive nerd. You don't look comfortable in that setting. That is clear. You are clearly a tech nerd.
Yeah.
Your position is to be hunched over in a slightly uncomfortable chair, doing a spreadsheet. That's your natural habitat. This is a shark pretending to be a tiger.
Yeah.
You're not. It's not your environment at all. Obviously.
Last time we saw him, of course, was against Islam Makhachev, and he stepped up on short notice.
Never has little brother energy been so perfectly expressed.
Exactly.
Zuck can spend hundreds of hours and millions of dollars training, but that doesn't mean he can actually join the cool MMA gang. Instead, they ignored him while he just nodded his head, making him look insecure and pathetic. In his attempt to demonstrate his masculinity, he put his masculine status at risk, and that is textbook fragile masculinity. The theory says that to prove your manhood, you have to publicly show some manly accomplishment, but if you fail, you are seen as less manly. And thus the Zuck got cucked, as did Musk. See, Elon has also done the basic things that should demonstrate he's a man. He's made money and he's got children. Perhaps too much of both. The dude has 12 kids. Oh, sorry, make that 13 kids.
Yep.
From this lady, also from his wife Justine, his pop star paramour Grimes, and an exec from the company he started to torture primates with brain implants. Yeah, that's real. I cannot believe that is real, but it is. The man quite literally has a harem. Hey, I guess if you can't find enough people to buy your shitty trucks, you could always grow your own. But money and women and an ark full of bizarrely named children are not enough for Elon. To show the public he's a man, he seeks the respect of the toughest dudes on the planet, the gamers. You know, nothing says I'm a big, strong man like having your assistant come in to light your gaming candle during your Twitch stream.
All right, we'll add the gaming candle back. Let's add the candle somewhere.
God.
Oh, Jesus
oh my
Christ.
God, he's got servants at his house waiting on him.
Yeah, oh no, you're so tough. You can't even light your own candle. Do you wipe your own ass? Do you tie your own shoelaces? Do you have any basic motor skills at all?
I don't want to get too Freudian here. Sometimes a gaming candle is just a gaming candle, but perhaps we can see a little bit of fragile masculinity.
That is, let's say, a projection of insecurity as a candle. Yeah.
The fact that Elon keeps his huge synthetic white shaft next to his gaming rig and that he requires someone else to light it up for him, armchair psychoanalysts, feel free to pop off in the comments. But even worse, it turns out that Elon, the gamer god, is a total fraud. Gamers watching him stream Path of Exile 2 noticed that Elon appeared to have no idea what he was doing, despite claiming to be one of the best players in the world. Redditors started tracking his noob behavior and eventually figured out that Elon was boosting, meaning he was paying someone else to play the game for him to level up his account.
It's not a hurricane machine conspiracy
I
theory.
mean, we already watched this, and I already said it, but he has a fucking claw machine in his house.
Yeah, you were really impressed by that.
I want a claw machine.
Levels of jealousy I didn't hear in your voice for a long time.
I'll be honest, yeah, like, I'm not going to cope about it. It was absolute jealousy. I'm not going to be like, no, I just admire his achievement in life, and I respect. You know what? Good for him. I'm glad he has that. No, I want the fucking claw machine now. I want it now, and I wanted it yesterday. Fact.
It is beyond a shadow of a doubt true that Elon Musk does not play this game.
Dude, there is just nothing more pathetic than lying about how good you are at a video game. Trust me, I learned that at a sleepover when I was 13 years old. Dude literally could have sent $100 to every teenage boy in America if their approval was that important to him. Just like Mark Zuckerberg, Musk sought out to prove his masculinity and in the attempt forfeited it. And again, that follows from the theory of fragile masculinity. Manhood is something that you need to earn by publicly proving yourself, and that means it's also something that you can publicly lose. So what happens then? Once you have embarrassed yourself before the public and you look like a little tiny baby boy, well...
What's the point of the claw machine in your house? If you even need to ask the question, you're on the wrong side of history, and you will be judged for that. Okay? Fact.
If your identity is based around conforming to the masculine stereotype, research again shows that when you fail to live up to that stereotype, all you can do is double down and risk embarrassing yourself again. The research on this is nuts. It shows that men whose manhood is threatened tend to respond with aggression. They literally start drinking more, they punch harder, they take more financial risks, and they show less support for gender and social equality. They even get more enjoyment out of sexist and anti-gay jokes. In other words, men who feel insecure about their manhood...
Yeah, go on, sorry.
This is why any anti-fascism has to also include a deconstruction and replacement of toxic masculinities.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's racism and misogyny. Yeah. I mean, misogyny is it's too limited a term. I would put like the whole patriarchy and the homophobia that goes with it and the hierarchy and everything else, but all of that needs to be undermined and attacked and deconstructed and then replaced with something healthier and more democratic. Can't just like be anti-fascist, but you have to get to the roots of it, because otherwise you're just masking the real problems.
Yeah, it will reify itself further down the line. If the core problem is, like you say, that kind of toxic masculinity, because it always metastasizes and becomes this awful monster from which fascism can arise. So if you don't attack that and deconstruct that, it just means fascism will come back, as we've seen. Germany, I mean, for all of the good things it did do post-war, didn't really denazify correctly. America didn't do
after the Civil War
Reconstruction properly, and you end up with these problems down the line. Because it's easier not to do the difficult thing in the short term, it leads to much larger problems in the long term.
Because it is being threatened.
To coin a phrase, a stitch in time saves 9 fascists having to be killed. You get the idea.
Terms of service, yeah.
Literally compensate by becoming even more ludicrous stereotypes of masculinity. And it's important that we understand something here. Both Musk and Zuck have their masculinity threatened constantly. Even on Musk's own platform X, the one he spent...
Oh, someone has taken it to a new level. Good Lord.
Is it Smokey the Bear?
We are talking Smokey the Bear, but it's been upped.
Oh, I'm loving it.
Lord Fritus has... it is your masterpiece. It's very much your Sistine Chapel, Lord Fritus. I have to quite agree with you there. Yeah. So we've got Kev on the helmet.
Nice.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Christy.
Yeah.
Aspat. Nice. There's a Jeremy Corbyn moose in the background, which I just noticed. There you go. There's a Jeremy Corbyn moose. There's a James from the internet. Is that a raccoon?
On the back of a raccoon's ass? Coming out of a raccoon's ass?
Yeah,
okay.
there we go. We've got Rory Cats, naturally. Yeah. You've got, hold on. That's, hang on, I need to shift that across, don't I? So we've got Curtis from Turn Left.
Okay.
Who I've been on with before, who is that a fawn, I think? We've got a
Yes.
No Justice MTG as some sort of other elk or something, I don't fucking know.
The gritty.
You got a gritty squirrel. Always good. Yeah, I think that's it. Have I missed any other Easter eggs?
No.
I think
scroll up a little bit above the gritty. Is there a sneak in the tree? Or is there another...
I think that's just
it's
a bird.
Woodpecker.
It's just it's just a regular...
Oh, and look, a bird is feeding its little baby birds. Oh, and there's another one landing. Lots of birds are landing.
Lots of birds.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's beautiful, honestly.
I love it. Just keep adding faces is all.
Exactly.
Just
There's like a
anything that
turtle
has a
there.
head. Yep, there's
a
birds.
couple of birds there. There's loads
Yeah.
of birds in this tree.
There's a
woodpecker.
squirrel, I think, on the lower left.
Yeah, little squirrel there, just below
That's open.
Curtis. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. It's just go mad, go wild,
Yeah.
enjoy yourselves.
Exactly. Lovely stuff. There's a couple of little ducks there, tiny little ducks underneath the
Oh yeah.
Corbin moose.
Oh, that would be fabulous, little baby.
Yeah, let's go. Anyway, Lord Fritos, please seek help.
$44 billion to buy, he is repeatedly humiliated. You know how we know that? He literally tweeted, "I am constantly insulted on this platform." Oh, buddy, that's sad for you, man. Oh, I don't want to feel bad for this guy. And it's not just X. In 2022, Elon went on stage during a Dave Chappelle show, and at that show, he was booed by the crowd for 10 minutes.
That's a lot of booing, man. What did Dave Chappelle... Dave Chappelle does not know his audience, does he?
No.
Why the fuck
and
would
this is
Dave
also in
Chappelle think...
California, right after
Well-
he fired everybody at Twitter.
Well, that is also true, but like even before then, a Dave Chappelle audience was never going to react well to like Elon Musk ever. For a start off, he's very, very rich and the whitest cunt ever. What the fuck did Dave Chappelle think he was doing? Maybe that's because Dave Chappelle has definitely lost touch with his roots quite significantly. We saw that from the weird fucking tenants association thing he did, where he tried to get someone like fucking kicked out. I can't even remember what it was now. Like he's just a rich boy now, you know.
Weren't expecting this, were you?
It sounds like some of them people you fired are in the audience.
Now, you know, someone with a stable sense of their own masculinity might persevere in the face of that kind of public hate, but Elon is not that someone. The boos were so upsetting to him that he locked himself in his office at X with employees outside concerned that he was going to harm himself. What could be more
But sadly, he didn't.
fragile than having a breakdown after getting heckled at a fucking comedy show? If you want to see how I react to getting heckled, come see me on the road at AdamConner.net for tickets and tour dates. Both Elon and Zuck are...
Any human who's ever stepped on a comedy stage has been booed or heckled or... Look, that's just what... It's a fucking comedy stage. What did you think was, like... You're not special, Elon. You're actually not.
Trapped in this cycle of humiliation where they feel the need to prove their masculinity, fail publicly to do so, and then double down, lashing out in ever more aggressive, stereotypically masculine ways. So seen through that lens, it shouldn't be surprising when Elon Musk tweets that he's gonna impregnate Taylor Swift, or co-signs a tweet suggesting that women shouldn't vote, or when Zuck cuts DEI programs at Meta, removes content protections for LGBT people, or goes on Joe Rogan, the most masculine podcast hosted in Texas's gayest city.
But I do think the corporate culture sort of had swung towards being this somewhat more neutered thing. And I didn't really feel that until I got...
Can we also just talk about Joe Rogan now being a billionaire's fucking cum dumpster?
Oh, apparently he's trying to, well, Midas Touch has now beat him for, like, the top podcast.
Yeah.
And so he, apparently I was watching somebody who was covering him, and he was going over some critical thing about Elon Musk the other day. I think he's desperate to stay relevant now. He realizes that actually everybody hates these people.
Yeah.
Except for the mega cult, and the mega cultists aren't his audience.
Yeah, like he's just, oh, a billionaire comes on, oh, this is awesome, yeah, this is fantastic, wonderful. Like, you realise your audience don't actually like billionaires? Like, I know for you, Joe Rogan, it's like a fake populism, just like with Donald Trump or whatever, but like, they're not like fans of them at all. Which is why, of course, Mr. Zuckerberg, cucking out and being like, oh, I'm going to get rid of some DEI stuff or whatever, isn't going to work. They hate you. You're never going to, like, for a start off, as a Jewish person, they will always hate you. These people are Nazis, okay? But even if you weren't, doing this won't appease them. They have an idea in their head of you as like a communist, apparently, because billionaire communists are a fucking thing. And So you won't be able to appease them. So don't bother.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't.
Involved in martial arts.
Dude, I thought you were a powerful CEO. You're telling me you take one jujitsu class in a strip mall and change the entire way you run your business? That's pathetic. Your problem
also, I can't let you mention Midas
Ben
Touch
Meiselas?
without Ben
Yeah.
Meiselas. Yeah, I didn't realize he also has a brother.
Yes. Oh, I think it's like not is behind the cameras.
Yeah,
not
he's
part of this stuff. Although I
yeah.
think he does some stuff more often now. But yeah.
Yeah, he's also cool. I can't remember his name though. I'm going to call him Dave. Dave Meiselas. I don't know.
isn't masculinity. It's that you stole our data and your metaverse sucks. And I'm sorry, you can't complain about your corporate culture not being manly enough when nearly 2/3 of your employees are already men. Then, as in any conversation between two real manly men, hunting came up, and Mark brought up his favorite weapon, the bow.
Although my favorite is bow and arrow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's, I think, like the most, that feels like the most kind of sporting.
And hey, that's cool as hell. Killing an animal with a gun, easy, but using a bow and arrow, that's personal, visceral. That is the most manly way for men to hunt. Unless, of course, you're lying about it.
What kind of bow do you have?
Gosh, I didn't get to do it this season, but
do you know the company that makes it?
Not off the top of my head.
Oh God, that's so embarrassing. Like, because again, no, everyone now knows you're a liar. You lied about that. You don't like. If you have a bow, of course you know what the fuck it is. You go hunting. This thing stops a bear from killing you.
Mm-hmm.
Of course you know what the fuck it is. You dopey cunt. Fuck off.
You have to know.
Yeah, no, this is.
You can't buy not being a wanker. It's not possible. That's the thing you have to learn not to be.
Embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
I can get you hooked up.
Yeah, it works.
I mean,
it works. That's the worst thing you could say. At that point, let it be. Don't add to it. It works. Oh no. Oh fuck. It shoots arrows.
Why lie about this?
Yeah.
Why? It's like Mark caught a stomach bug that makes him incapable of holding down his own dignity. He just has to.
Yeah, just say gun. Because first off, all of the men that you want to impress with your manliness like guns, and then when they ask, well, what gun you got? Glock. I've got a Glock, or I've got a .5 or something. You know, just you can make one up then. Like, you know what I mean? A bow, unless you actually are into bows. I don't know who the fuck knows what bows are. What? A Dave bow. I don't know.
Arf this embarrassing shit out. It is utterly humiliating. But you know what? It's also typical. Musk and Zuck aren't outliers. See, as much as I like to make fun of these guys, it's not entirely their fault. Fragile masculinity is something that society does to men, that it inflicts upon us. I mean, hell, our own families do it to us. Elon is this way because he was bullied and abused as a child. First and foremost by his macho, overcompensating, flailing businessman of a dad who, quote, never tired of telling Elon how worthless he was. I know, I'm sorry, I made you feel bad for Elon Musk, but that is the truth. Fragile masculinity is not a mystic force of human nature. It's a set of ideas that is transmitted from person to person, from shitty dad to pathetic son.
See, this is the thing. Elon, right, was bullied too much as a kid and nowhere near enough as an adult. That's the thing. They get it the wrong way round.
And even though Musk and Zuckerberg are the most privileged and powerful people on the planet, they have been absolutely warped by it. At the root of Zuck's decision to allow abuse and harassment of vulnerable people on his platforms, or Musk's efforts to destroy the mechanics of American government from the inside, are these dudes' failures to be the men they imagine themselves to be. It's just sad, frankly. But, you know, these guys are billionaires, so they're going to be fine no matter what, no matter how much they embarrass themselves, they'll be...
But, like, I agree that obviously it's a lot of nurture, right? rather than just nature or anything like that. I'm not saying it's innate within them, but they are grown adults. And unless they're psychopaths, which there are certainly psychopathic traits, but let's just say they're probably not, statistically. You seek therapy. You can control yourself. You have agency. You aren't completely irredeemable. Seek therapy. You can be better than this. And you know you can be better than this. And if you're not, I'm going to hold you accountable. Like the fact that you were bullied as a kid is bad. That's not an excuse to do some fascism.
No, you're an adult now. You have to kind of like you get therapy.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
He can definitely afford it. A lot of people can't afford therapy or they don't have access to it. He does.
Yeah.
He can sort his shit out. He has no excuse.
Yeah.
And he's like, what,
okay.
50 something? He's like my age.
Yeah, he's in his 50. Yeah, yeah.
But when this dynamic happens to real men in the real world, it makes their lives worse. It often kills them. And it explains the
fingers crossed
fascist turn in American politics. See, our American concept of masculinity, again, is centered around independence, competition, and achievement. All good qualities if you can achieve them in a secure way. But by those terms, many young American men are objectively failing through no fault of their own. First, our schools are leaving men behind. Their dropout rates are higher and their scores are lower than women. And while they were just as likely to graduate college as women 30 years ago, now women have left them in the dust. And it's not just school, it's in the economy.
No, it's just because women are better. They're just genetically superior, mate. We can deal with it. It's a skill issue.
Picking up all the slack of all the stuff that doesn't get handled because some people are,
That seems like a skill issue, bitch. Get better.
Economy itself. Young men are working less than they did in the past, and their wages are stagnating, especially if they don't have college degrees. And remember, college is expensive in this country, so many men can't access it. The world has literally changed around American men. Our economy is no longer structured so that an average guy without a college degree can get a good job to provide for his wife and family. The jobs that these men used to get
it is going a bit MRA. Gotta say, he's not necessarily wrong. It's just a bit like, be careful, you know.
He's missing that, and he's talking about American culture in particular here, right? What he's leaving out is that ability for white men to, without a college degree, to provide for their families was built on the fact that women couldn't get jobs, or at least they were kicked out when they were married, and that all of the terrible jobs that paid the worst were basically assigned to people of color. So it left all of these kind of more prime. It was a benefit of white supremacy and male supremacy. Yeah. It was coddling. It was a leftover from like the 1800s and slavery, right? So I mean, white men think that was the ideal, but that's because they don't realize that their advantage came at literally everybody else's cost.
Well, exactly. Yeah, this is the thing. The world changed around all those other groups as well. Mm-hmm. You can't argue that it's unfair that you don't get every single advantage in the world anymore.
Yes.
Like that's not a tolerable argument. Like at that point, the joke I did about it being a skill issue becomes not a joke anymore. Mm-hmm. If in a fair battleground you can't win, tough. Like get better, work harder. What can I say? You've been coasting as a demographic for 300 years. And you've become fat and lazy upon it. Get better.
Gone. And that's why young men are also living at home at a way higher rate than young women. Unsurprisingly, young women are not super excited about shacking up with young men who are less likely to have completed their education, gotten a job, or live on their own. And consequently, young men are way more likely to be single and way less likely to have sex than they used to be. Men.
Okay. Now you are genuinely straying into MRA territory. It's not that women don't want to fuck uneducated men, because trust me, I know plenty of uneducated men who are good people and funny and care. They're in relationships, they're married, they've got long-term partners, they've got children. It's got nothing to do with that. The fact that a lot more men are single and a lot more men are sexless, it is for a number of reasons why that is, but I think also the empowerment of women to not have to do it
Yes.
Even if they are innately sexually attracted to men predominantly, they don't feel the necessity to have to settle. So again, as a demographic, you've been given an advantage, which is women settling for fucking bombs because they have to, because they can't work. They've got no chance of actually earning a living themselves, so they have to get married. And in a small town, you might have a very limited supply. And so you settle for whoever. Whereas now, you don't have to fucking do that. It's not that men are being wronged here. It's that men need to get better at not being violent. Because again, most sexual assaults are done by men. Even against men, they're done by men. Most murders are done by men. Most violent crime overall is done by men. A woman that doesn't need to engage with that demographic of people, I can understand them not doing so. Because you know what a vibrator doesn't do? Murder you.
Yeah. I got a dick in my drawer. Have you heard that song?
I haven't, but I also just thought that was just a statement of fact from you.
No. It's I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah.
It's a country music song.
So, like, yeah, again, it's with the bear thing. A bear has never drugged a woman and allowed the entire town to rape her over the course of 20 years, like that case in France.
Yep.
Is there any wonder women are like, you know what? Ann Summers will sell me the exact thing I need, but without the murdery bit. Okay, cool.
All right. Should I give this to you in Discord, or when you were done with this? I think it might be a good thing to end on.
Yeah, well, clearly it gets you to the end. That is a stiff dick of poop.
Men also experience higher rates of loneliness, drug abuse, and suicide. I mean, men commit suicide nearly 4 times as often as women. Just about every social indicator looks worse for men, and that is a serious problem. By the way, those last stats are from our sponsor, usafacts.org. If you want real data straight from the government, they're the place to go to. And you know what? In a time when it seems like no one can agree, it's really critical to have useful and reliable data that you know is straight from the source. And usafacts.org has been a fantastic resource for us when we've been writing and researching these videos. So check them out, usafacts.org. It's a phenomenal resource. The crisis that men are facing isn't just bad for our health and our wallets. It also harms men's image of ourselves, and it plays right into the fragile masculinity trap. If you're not able to earn a living or find a partner, that literally threatens your image of your own manhood. And that forces you, once again, to double down. And that has had a powerful effect on our politics. Research actually shows that the more insecure you are as a man, the more you support tough guy right-wing policies, which is why it should be no surprise that so many young men turned sharply towards Trump this election. If turning to MAGA sues the masculinity of a billionaire who got his feelings hurt by a pro gamer, well, it must do the same thing for an unemployed 25-year-old with no job prospects in a changing economy. That's why Trump's campaign was awash in hyper-masculine images, like this one. And if that seems like a childish version of masculinity, it literally is. In the case of Hulk Hogan,
yeah, literally, like Elon Musk and Javier Milei, fucking with a chainsaw, wasn't even on. It's just that you're just waving around an inanimate object. But it's like, look how tough I am. I've got a chainsaw. Like,
Yes.
are you a fucking?
Oh,
are you
it's so
6?
cringe.
How
It
is
was
that
so-
impressive to anybody? Why were they cheering that? That's embarrassing.
They'll literally cheer if he showed his ass. They would cheer literally anything
Yeah,
he does.
that is true.
it's literally for children. Eat your vegetables, brothers. But at least it's something. Republicans went out of their way to bring the campaign to young men. They targeted them where they were, watching UFC, listening to dude podcasts, and going to college football games. But what did young men get from the Democrats in 2024? Oh, an invitation to Coach Waltz's roof to clean his gutters while he delivers a lecture about enthusiastic consent. That's worse than fucking nothing. Thanks a lot, Mr. fucking Feeney. Young men are in a crisis.
What? I don't even know what the fuck he's referring to there.
Which part of it?
The cleaning his gutters thing? What?
No, that I don't know about.
I don't
I
know
was
what
like
the
about
fuck.
the crisis of young men.
Oh no, the
forever.
actual
Okay.
thing, like what Tim Walls did a thing. What? I don't know. Anyway.
That is our social and economic reality. And if we do not address the source of that crisis, it will continue to be inflamed by the same compensatory power fantasies that have melted the brains of Zuck and Elon. And to do that, young men, yes, need new forms of media that actually speak to their problems and give them proper role models of what a healthier version of masculinity could look like. Plenty of people have made that argument. But more importantly than that, they need actual policy that actually addresses their problems. We need more male teachers for struggling male students. We need to help men get...
Well, hang on. Again, this is some MRA shit. Don't get me wrong. I'm fine with there being male teachers. I think it's probably important to have a little bit of both as a socialization type thing. Okay, fine. But if you say we need more men because men are struggling, or because boys are struggling, you're saying inherently women are incapable of teaching both both boys and girls and non-binary children.
Yeah.
Which is like quite sexist, actually.
Also, well, I get it that, like probably kids do spend a lot of time with teachers. This really comes down to like your family and what are your role models in the family, and your friend circles, that kind of stuff. Also, the media you consume. What you listen to, and when you go, if you're religious and you go to a religious service, what kind of toxic masculine norms are or aren't being preached there? I think the answer is just like, booting out a bunch of women from teaching positions.
Well, but did they respond to the email, Christy?
Yeah, that's the real question.
Although technically they're not federal employees, it's a state thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Avid Historian, for gifting a sub to Alex Roivas. Much love to you both.
And keep jobs by promoting the hell out of vocational training and making it, guess what, free so people can actually access it. And we need to make...
That's true. That would definitely help. Because there are a huge swathe of people who can't afford any of these things if you put a price tag on it. Because lots of people are poor.
Yep.
Make sure that those jobs, when they get them, are stable, good-paying union jobs that actually provide them a life. And when it comes to addressing the unacceptably high rate of male suicide, we need a serious and sustained public health response. Policy is not enough by itself. We also need to change our concept of masculinity to not be so fucking fragile. And you know what?
That is true.
That is possible. Because while fragile masculinity is seen in societies around the world, different societies buy into it more or less. And you know what makes them buy into it less? Gender equality. That's right. Countries with higher levels of gender equality have lower levels of fragile masculinity, have more secure...
Well done, Finland. That's the very bottom right there.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Honestly. Congrats. And also,
it's a nice place to live.
Sort yourself out, Iran. Just saying. That's the one all the way up there. Where's the UK? Probably somewhere in the middle, I imagine. I can see the USA there, the smack in the middle. Are we not there? Are we so shit now we don't even appear on these anymore? Well, there's England. England isn't a fucking thing.
Well, is there Scotland and Wales too?
Technically, I imagine, England and Wales, if we're talking about gender equality, would probably be the statistical thing. And we're right next to Colombia, Northern Ireland, Canada. Yeah, so we're basically in the mix, yeah. Okay. So what were you going to say?
That was it. It was
okay.
just I saw some map and they just they talked about England and Scotland and Northern Ireland. I'm like, and Wales? What about fucking Wales? Like, it didn't get absorbed into England, but I just foreign nations kind of thing.
Cure masculinity in their male populace. Yeah, it turns out that oppressing women and queer people doesn't strengthen your manhood. It only makes you more fucking insecure. Kind of makes sense, right? I mean, guys who are secure in their masculinity are generally less likely to bully a gay teen in the cafeteria. And that means that we are not stuck. We can escape the trap of fragile masculinity by treating everyone in society with fairness and empathy. And that means that when these supposed tech visionaries embrace the dumbest version of masculinity and use it to overthrow our government and make it less fair, they're not driving.
To be fair, he's not overthrowing the government just for that. It's also financial benefit.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to be too Marxoid about this, but there is also the concrete reality of he's very rich. He only values getting more rich.
Yes.
This is an unbelievably wise investment. He spent 250 million, and his wealth increased by 140 billion by the time Trump took office. Yeah.
Yeah.
Driving us towards the future. They're grasping at the pathetic past and keeping themselves imprisoned. But you know what? There's a big, bright world outside of those bars. One where you can have all of your masculine virtues, like bacon burgers, naval history podcasts, and chopping wood with your shirt off. And one in which healthy aggression and competition are valued as the virtues that they are, but also one in which your masculinity doesn't depend on the approval of others, but is secure in itself. So you know what? I think we need to thank Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. Because in their pathetic, grasping insecurity, it turns out they're actually the perfect people to teach us the truth about fragile masculinity and how it imprisons us, and to help us chart a path out. Go for it, guys. Keep embarrassing yourselves in public. It's pretty fun to watch. I want to see you guys windsurf. I want to see you
content.
try to do porn and be bad at it. I want to see you go to a biker bar, smash a bottle on the table, and challenge those dudes to a fight. Because you know what? You'll get the shit beaten out of you, but all of us will laugh, and we'll all learn something.
True. I'd watch that on stream. Definitely. Anyway,
All right.
from
a little, from me now. A little something from me.
From Dicks in the Oval Office to Dicks in the Nightstand. So that is a fucking cool segue.
Oh, it's a country song, by the way. I don't know if you can tell.
Where does the time go? Thanks for the nachos and 2-for-1 tacos. Good thing tequila does what it does. I didn't catch feelings, but I caught a buzz. Yeah, I see you talking, I'm over here smiling, 'cause I'm fantasizing about riding my Chevy off into the sun. As soon as this bowl of guacamole is gone, 'cause there's something better waiting at home. I got a dick in my nightstand I can use with my left hand. When I'm alone, it always treats me right. Never too tired on a Friday night. Some girls just want a good man with a good job and a good plan. Picket fence with a little white house on a hill with some nice land. But me, I got a dick in my nightstand.
Yes. I'm here for it. Let's go.
All of my friends think that I need affection, but I found perfection. It doesn't talk when I'm trying to read. It doesn't poke me when I'm trying to sleep. I got a dick in my nightstand I can use with my left hand. When I'm alone, it always treats me right. Never too tired on a Friday night. Some girls just want a good man with a good job and a good plan. Picket fence with a little white house on a hill with some nice land. Me, I got a dick in my nightstand. Yeah, it doesn't get mad at me when I wanna watch Grey's Anatomy. It won't piss on the toilet seat or drag me to an Applebee's. I got a dick in my nightstand I can use with my left hand. When I'm alone, it always treats me right. Never too tired on a Friday night. Some girls just want a good man.
I apologise for this outbreak of country music on the channel. It's an aberration.
White house on a hill with some nice land. Oh, but me, I got a dick in my nightstand. You know I do. I see you talking, I'm over here smiling.
What is an Applebee's, Christy?
Oh, it's a restaurant chain.
Yeah, it's like it's like a shit restaurant chain, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Like Chili's, but without the thing.
Yeah, it's famous for like baby back ribs and like potato wedges and.
They sell the ribs of babies.
Yeah.
Oh God, you people are monsters.
I'm dying here. I'm crossing my legs. We really need to finish. So let's go.
When you say crossing your legs, is it because you've got a dick in your nightstand or you need a piss?
I need a piss.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? We're done then. Fuck it.
Yeah, we don't need to hear the last thing of it. We get the idea.
Yeah, we get the idea.
don't
You've
need
got a
the coda.
vibrator. Awesome.
We don't need the coda.
Yeah. Okay. Well, on YouTube, I'll send you over to Katie Montgomery, who's cool.
Ooh.
A little bit of trans
And I'll see everybody
rights
next
action.
next Wednesday.
Yeah, next Wednesday. I'll be back hopefully tomorrow with hopefully no justice for hopefully question time. But all of those things are subject to possible change. Because who knows? Who's going on Twitch that I can send everyone over to? Cosmo motherfucking Politics is going, so I'm going to send you there. PMQs. I might do PMQs tomorrow before the thingamajig, but maybe not. I don't know. It wasn't that interesting this week. It never really is, I suppose. But, you know. I've got to type it in, have I? So yes, what have you got coming up on your channel, Krista?
Nothing. I've got Carnival coming up.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's I got a party, and I gotta clean my house. I got someone coming over to stay for like 4 days. So
nice.
Yeah, go out party, be a lot of fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, we'll see you on Wednesday then. Thank you everyone for listening and watching. Remain awesome as always. It's goodbye me, and it's goodbye from Carnival. Say goodbye, Carnival.
Oh, goodbye. You clipped out. Goodbye. I don't know. That's what I heard.
Well, she did the staccato bit.